Yeah. And a half rhythm just.
Jay, my mic's still good if I'm.
So
Yeah,
here's
yeah.
the question: whose lyrics are gonna go in it then? Because we've got the intro, Citrus. Who else's lyrics will go in it? That will be the question.
That's actually a good question.
I think you got to go in.
Don't start Dean off, because if he gets too drunk, all of a sudden he's saying to everybody to say pass the mic. And spit a little something. He's done it before. Bro, he's done it before. I'm okay, bro.
It's a stage show.
42 minutes.
I'm saying 42 bars.
Yeah.
See, there you go.
We know for rain session, we'll have a little breakdown, offbeat, and then rain comes in.
Well, you know what? I read earlier on this week. Rain said he'll hold the mic. Have any of you lot been in a session where Rain's held the mic?
Rayman Rocker.
Yeah, I have.
In
Wasn't
the
that
last 10 years.
No.
Rain
No,
hasn't left
10
the
years.
wall.
I'm about to say love drunk.
Yes.
Yeah, that was how long ago was that?
Yeah.
Rain will find a
In
corner,
the last 10 years.
find a corner, hold that thing up, and that's him.
I'm not. Yeah.
Where since 2015?
Our
Our?
versus food, where we had the music and that.
Oh, really? I can't remember.
When the man who was doing it says, really, you have to start questioning it.
That was
Yeah,
That's in the last 10 years, though.
Alright.
That is in the last 10 years. I remember that. I didn't go, but I remember the actual event.
yeah.
That's in the last 10
Didn't
years.
support, but he remembers the event.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Well, are we live now? Yeah.
It's the phenomenon.
We are kicking on YouTube.
Please remember, like, share, subscribe, smash the button harder than you can.
Yep.
Bang, bang. Let's go.
A man said bang,
Why
bang.
for
Oh, Lordy.
Yeah.
I was expecting a little yeah, but the heat must be interfering with that.
Your Facebook, your Instagram, your TikToks, get it moving.
Oh yeah, yeah. Share.
It's true.
The last podcast we didn't tell them to share. You know. Did you lot share? No.
Do you know why?
Why?
Sirelli did the podcast in the wrong order.
No, slightly, bro.
Yeah. Wow,
Yeah.
you just
Slightly.
threw,
I'm
you
not gonna
just
lie.
threw Sirelli
I'm on
under the
his
bus.
team, bro. I ain't gonna lie. This is
You
nothing
just
about
threw
bro,
Sirelli
but I'm on your
under the
team.
bus.
It was different.
He's taking it.
It was done different.
He done it differently.
Well, deliberately.
I said it was done different. What, you don't hear?
Deliberately, you done it backwards.
He didn't say deliberately.
What?
He's made a faux pas. He's taken it. You're trying to think.
Yeah, now you're just, it's like you're trying to trigger me.
Innit?
But it's all right.
We
can do it.
in the spirit of things. What we should do, all of us should be sharing the live.
Bro, that's what I was doing.
All right.
Until
I was told you're not allowed your phones with a podcast.
Yep.
Well, that being said, for this week, you will need your phone only if you need to refer to your answers.
Yeah.
I will definitely need.
You're gonna change it.
man gave us homework and he's telling us here. We
Yeah.
can't look at our own homework.
That's right.
I ain't gonna lie.
That's
I'm not
right.
gonna change my answers. I might change my answers.
You might change your answers.
No,
okay.
you even remember them. That's
Brother,
That's
that's
the
I
thing.
remember what I
Mm.
put, but I put things that I liked in it. So,
Right.
I mean, some of my left blanks.
We'll clarify and stipulate. So we're live everywhere now, Jay. All right.
Okay.
So let's rock on. Let's rock on.
Yeah.
So,
every man with their phone in their hand.
Well, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna jump straight into Rain's roundup. Straight into it.
part.
Your favorite part, you know? Wow.
I ain't gonna lie.
That's gonna get kicked. Actually jumped up. Man jumped up like
Bro,
Mario.
like, round up's good, bro.
Like Wario, not even Mario, Wario. Not even Mario, Wario.
When Mario jumps on Yoshi.
Yeah.
Right. So where I'm going to start is quite a lot that's happening. Some of it is a bit older because we didn't cover everything from last week, last fortnight. Sorry, but I'm going to start with Marcus Fakana. I think I'm pronouncing his name right.
18-year-old.
The 18-year-old. So it was an 18-year-old boy
Got released.
who was jailed in Dubai. So what happened? He was reported to the police after having sex with a then 17-year-old female.
It was his girlfriend.
No, wasn't his girl. It was a holiday romance.
Yep.
It was consensual. The reason why it got alerted to the feds was because the girl's mum found out and reported it to the Babylon. So that's the story. So what happened was he got a full pardon from one of the top men over in Dubai. So he's basically free. So there's a bit of a mad situation there. However, the issue or the bigger story is that the UK government, namely David Lammy from Tottenham, didn't interject until the last moment. And when he interjected, the people that he was getting, the people that that my man was getting support from had already dealt with it. They already got him the presidential pardon and whatnot, but David Lammy didn't get involved.
I thought someone got involved last year when it originally happened.
You're talking about David Lammy.
Taking
There were others involved.
Others from the government.
The government.
No.
Okay.
No.
It was mentioned, but they never got involved.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
there was
I thought it was.
pressure from the UK system.
So
That's what I thought.
what David Lammy said, the reason why he couldn't get involved is because he can only represent him as a MP, not as the foreign secretary. But as a foreign secretary, if something happens overseas, namely detainment, you should be able to get in there and have an influence. So the question is, should David have done more? Even though the guy's free and safe to the people that helped him, but should he have done more?
I think what it comes down to, and I say this as someone who understands the constraints of not being able to do what you want to do, because certain rules and regulations may stop you from doing that. If the constraints are there and he couldn't do it, then I'm understanding of it. The issue really becomes, was he able to do more? If he was able to do more, he 100% should have done more.
So how can a non-political body facilitate communication and a release?
Better than him.
Better than the MP.
Better than an MP one, and then him being a foreign secretary.
Foreign secretary. Yeah. Do you know what it will come down to? It will come down to, does the foreign secretary have the authority to make decisions? Can they get involved in personal cases as opposed to an MP can? And it might sound a bit strange.
I get what you mean, yeah.
But an MP may be able to do something because they're not in a position of authority from the country. Whereas as a foreign secretary, you're accountable to the country.
I disagree. Sorry, before you kick in.
Go on.
So I totally understand what you're saying. And yes, you're right. As a foreign secretary, you have to answer to ultimately the prime minister. So you can't do anything that would compromise
the country.
Yeah, the country, but you can't do anything that's going to compromise his leadership. Is what the biggest thing for him will be, because if you do, he's going to get rid of you. So I get that. However, the point that Rain just made there in regards to normal everyday people taking the time, namely the family, putting their time out there to go out there, contact the right people and whatnot. Yes, you're right. He couldn't go there and say to them, listen, he's from the UK, he don't understand, send him back home, we'll deal with him. But he definitely had the ability to guide the people in the right direction. These are the people you need to speak to. This is the judicial system over there. These are people in this part. Even if you don't actually do it yourself, you support. You show that you're giving the family support.
I mean, one thing that jars me about a lot of things, I suppose, even in life, but the computer says no, freaking effect. Like, some logic needed to be seen in this whole situation.
What logic was that?
I mean, one similar to what Reddy just said. He's a child, isn't it? All right, he didn't know any better in the sense of.
He's definitely not a child.
He's 18.
That's what the case.
When I say a child, he's a young adult. Then, all right, he's just hitting the adolescence now. All right, and it's like you're just actually reaching this point. It's not like you're going to know everything that's going on. You're not going to know the rules in other countries and how things work, etc., etc. Now, he's just gone out there, seen a girl, slept with a girl. He's not gone into all of this whole, how old are you? You're not of the legal age in this country, bro.
She didn't disclose her age. So I don't know if he asked, but she didn't disclose her age.
Come on, man. I mean, at the end of the day, logic needs to have taken a little bit of sense here at this point. For me, even in the Dubai side of things, they should have actually
Dubai logic. Okay.
Yeah,
so-
I'm not with you on this.
there should have been some kind of logic towards it.
I'm not with you.
No.
But the logic came because they then released him.
Eventually, but the boy's been. How long has he been in there?
So I haven't got the intricacies.
He's been in there for a while now, and it's like you've now changed his whole his life. Innit? He's now been inside. All right, he's done time. I don't know how much of a record, or if the record's going to be like expunged. All right, it's like I know to myself he's been affected by it, and his life's been affected by it, and that's not fair because he's a young guy who's just coming into his adolescence now, and he's now having to deal with all of these problems that are now going to go on for the rest of his life. And he's known out there, and we're talking about him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Citrus.
The
law doesn't have any space for ignorance. So
I read that the other day.
you break the law, you break the law. I didn't know is not
It's not defense.
ground for defense.
Yeah. I killed him. I didn't know.
I didn't know I shouldn't do. That's not ground for defense.
We all know it's because the
No.
mum didn't like it. So I thought you.
I was gonna. Yeah. No. Sorry, go on, D. Go on.
No, go on.
We all know it's because the mum was like, "What? No, not my daughter. I'm sorry, not a black guy."
But
That's what I think.
But that's what it was. The daughter got dugu in Dubai, and then she was like, "Rah wagwan." So I don't look. I'm not going to go into the whole nationalities of where they're from and blah blah blah. Who knows what she looked like? We don't know. But she was underage, and that's what the
Have you seen
mum.
pictures of her?
I haven't. So I'm not bringing it in. I don't know.
So I've got a question to you when you finish.
The fact is, the mother didn't like it. Reported. Then Manda came. Man's in jail.
Sorry, can I ask? Sorry, ask a question. If it was your
I'm going to
daughter,
finish my point because I think we need to stick with the etiquette of the podcast. And the point I was making was you can't pleading ignorance doesn't stand up in court in any country. So let's just take that off the table. Secondly, I believe from David Lammy or any MP's point of view, if it was a different individual being held against their will,
Detained
for whatever reason we as a UK nation don't agree with, there would have been a much louder, quicker reaction and uproar. So if it was a female journalist, Caucasian from Lancashire, who was reporting something in Dubai wearing a skirt that was too short, and she was inside,
David's gone.
you know, all of them are talking about her in the House of Commons, in the House of
all of them placed there. Yeah.
in the House of Parliament, you know what I mean, with House of Lords, everyone is chatting.
Yeah.
So
Outrage.
I'm not on this.
Yeah.
I couldn't talk about it. Yeah. Dacking handkerchiefs to the front bench. I'm not on trying to hear, like, it wasn't high profile enough. Do you get what I mean?
100%. 100%.
So with things like that, I am very, very, very clear that the profile just didn't fit.
Right. Okay.
So this is why I don't believe there was enough noise made for this young man. However, let's put that aside. He's free.
Yes,
He
exactly.
got released a week ago today. So congratulations. I hope, as Buddy said, he uses this position to be able to, I don't know, uplift,
Educate.
and move forward and give him a foundation to be able to build and develop his life.
Can you imagine how much young people in his age bracket don't know about that consequence, that if you go out there and you do something like that, the result of that is you could end up in prison?
They might know now.
That's my point. So this is what I'm saying.
When we were 18 traveling, did we care?
Nothing.
No.
Did we care? Is the
no, I
problem.
didn't.
Right, exactly. So and he's a young boy.
Man.
Attracted.
Consensual.
Okay, yeah. Attracted to a girl, she's attracted to him. They're in Dubai, hotel.
He's on holiday, bro.
You know what I mean? So, but anyway, let's move on.
Can I ask you a question before you move on?
Go for it.
What's your view on the mum reporting it?
I mean,
Wiley.
no, because I wanted to say that.
Oh,
That's
go
the
on,
point
go
I
on.
wanted to say, was to say, if it was any of our kids and it was our daughters, all right, how would we feel? Or would we have sat there and said to ourselves, not my 17-year-old daughter, no way, not having it, and reported that?
Would you have reported it?
No,
No, I would have reported it.
no.
I mean, you got to think to yourself, would I have reported it? I haven't got a daughter, all right, but I'm thinking in my head, how would I feel if it was one of my I might have.
Karen Buddy
Karen
would have reported it.
Karen Buddy.
Yeah, Karen Bud.
Karen Buddy would have.
Yeah, Karen Buddy.
I mean, you can say whatever you want to say, but I'm saying to myself,
Yeah.
you're saying no, I wouldn't have.
I wouldn't have.
But you,
I wouldn't report it.
you say that now, but I'm thinking
I
to
know-
myself, your
I know-
17-year-old
I
daughter
wouldn't have
has
reported
gone out there and got duga out there in another
Listen,
country.
No,
Oh,
listen.
Finish. Go on.
Got duga in another country, all right, and you're not thinking to yourself, I'm feeling away. It's just the first time, as far as you know, all right, and you're sitting there going, like, you might just panic and say, nah, I'm not having it.
So you'd report it for what reason?
I mean,
Emotional bud.
bro,
What
wait,
reason?
no, stop 1 second. You're making it personal.
Feelings.
All right, no, you're
No,
making
go
it
on, go on.
personal, and I'm saying to you,
Go on.
just see it from another side, innit, bro? All right. At the end of the day, if it was my daughter, how would I feel about it? I'm not saying that I'm going to do what she did, because I think what she did was disgusting. Do you know what I mean? I don't condone in it. However, what I'm trying to say is understand the feeling in it. Just try and see it from another person's point of view.
And I get that.
That's it.
The point I'm making is, if I have an issue with you over something you've done, being her daughter, me saying I'm going to punish Citrus because he was there with you,
Buddy,
it doesn't make sense, because my beef would be with my daughter. I'm gonna sit down and talk to her and have that conversation with her. I'm not then gonna say, yeah, Citrus must go in prison, knowing as an adult that by me reporting this, he's going down in a foreign country.
See, but her stereotypes might be far past that. I don't care. I don't know him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I know my child.
it's not true.
Go on.
What you are
Citrus.
saying-
All right, wait, hold on,
Citrus,
Citrus,
No, no, no,
Citrus,
I wanna make the
Citrus,
point.
go on.
If it
Because
was-
I wanna
what about
address
if it was
it,
your
go on.
son?
We need to move
No,
on.
because I want to address it. So go on, Citrus.
What you're saying is this was wrong, and I reported it. However, if she spread her legs in the UK, there'll be no one to report it to. Therefore, the issue is not with the boy. The
Mhm.
issue is with your child, the young girl.
Who is?
This is the fact she was consenting.
Yeah.
In the UK, there would have been no issue with that. In parts of Europe, there was no issue with that. It's only because this happened in Dubai, where the age range is different, is where it became a position where it's like, actually, because you did it over there, there's a way I can now lay you down by proxy. Do you get what I mean? Because you're over there. But if this happened, you was in Mallorca, or this happened, you was in Paris or wherever else, it would have been like, oh, we now need to focus just on my daughter. But you always needed to focus on your daughter. Laying the little boy down, the young man down, as a byproduct of her having sex with him because you didn't want it to happen, and now dressing him down because we're in another country and that law's different. I'm not interested.
So
Sorry, let me just give.
And
Go on.
just
No,
that's
no.
for the
Why
record.
wanted to say
We
something.
don't know what conversation, punishment, or whatever has taken place in their household internally with the daughter.
So my issue with it is I think the mum has done whatever she's done based on the information she's given. Now, it probably is consenting, and from the information we know it's consenting. However, the daughter is frank. We've never heard the daughter come out and say, oh, she was against the mum going to the police. So the daughter may well have framed the story in such a way that the mum is empowered to do that. We're all going by that. Oh, how could the mum do that? What if the daughter is given a story whereby no, it wasn't the R word, but actually, you know what it was? It was something where I was coerced into doing it. It wasn't the R word, but I was coerced into doing it.
But Wiley,
That may be.
Would you not think that even if that was the case, the mum, the daughter, another family member, a friend would have turned around and said, actually, even though it was reported this way,
Yep.
this is the position. So therefore, you're not leaving this young man exposed to the Dubai government, the Dubai authorities, and the British press. So if it was, as you're saying,
Yep.
how it was reported and that was incorrect,
Yep.
that someone could have turned around and said at any point on her side of the family or representing her, actually, it was this. Because it was so quiet, that says to me, as Sirelli said, he was left out to dry.
So my argument, I'm going to come to Tongo in a second. My only closing point on this is, on that point is, there's no obligation on the mum to have to clarify a story. As far as she's concerned, she's done what she's done with her daughter. And as far as she's concerned, if the story coming to her, why do I need to make a story out about the boy when I'm dealing with my daughter? That's his. As far as I'm concerned, if this is the story the daughter has told the mum, if it is, my daughter was coerced, not the R word, but was coerced. That is what I don't need to tell no one nothing. I've done what I've done.
But maybe she was. Maybe that information didn't come back. That it was coerced. Maybe she walked in on them. She's having sex, and the mum's just like, "Rah, I'm calling the police."
Yes,
and that was it. And then
that's what I'm saying.
And then they come. How old are you? 18. How old are you? 17.
Are you married? No.
Well, right. Okay.
Tongo. Closing point.
How come all the information that came out automatically, immediately from the jump said, she consented, this, that, and the other. So if the world was able to know that, they could only have got the information from those involved.
Coerced.
So how did the mum not know?
Because coerced and this is what Wiley said. Wiley said coerced, not the
coerced,
R word.
not the R word.
I know what he said.
So it may be that whatever, and I don't want to labor too much on this particular point, but it may be, and I'm only going from a different angle, like Buddy's doing. Yeah. We're saying, oh, how could the mum have done that? The mum could have done that if she thinks she's defending her daughter for whatever reason, whatever reason. And I'm not saying it's the right thing that happened. I'm saying that's a different angle to what happened.
All right. Sorry, the point I wanted to make to Buddy was just that I know you said you don't have any daughters, and I appreciate that. But just look at it from if he was your son and he went on holiday. I don't know who the daughter went with, but she's still 17 years old.
The mum.
I didn't know if the mum was out there as well.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know. But like I said, if he was your son, just look at it from that angle. Case closed.
Right. Moving on. Italy has introduced chemical castration for rapists and pedophiles.
Bad.
Is this something that the UK should introduce?
Do you know what? When it comes down to these type of things, it's very hard to actually even say, yeah, I'm all for it, because you say you're all for it, but who says that person is innocent or guilty? Unless you've got undeniable evidence to say
you got DNA proof, the man's done it.
Well, no, but DNA proof doesn't even give you that, because they might have said, oh, we had sex, all right, but it was consensual. And she's saying, well, it wasn't consensual.
CCTV, him holding her down.
Underage.
Chemical castration. What? Yes or no?
But if there's undeniable proof, then yeah. I don't mind for that.
I am 100% yes. However, similar to Buddy, it has to be beyond any doubt. I think it doesn't need to be, like in the UK, you've got this reasonable doubt, grey area. While he distributed himself. But
wow.
He's so mad. He's so mad.
Ignore that part. I'm just saying it has to, as Rain said, it has to be 100%. Like if the verdict was 100% certified, this is a rapist, can't be controlled, this is a pedophile, can't be controlled, lend them the chemicals. Chop off the things, make them a kendo.
Any other views on it?
I'm not sure.
I'm not
on it. And the reason why I'm not on it, not because I don't believe they should get the harshest sentence, but because the way that the criminal system is in this country, there's so many cases where people have found after how much years they're not guilty. Right. We're saying if you're 100%, but we've seen it where people have been found.
But that's what I said.
After having,
it has to be undeniable. This is what
I don't think in this country there's anything
unless you're there watching it. Yeah, I'm not.
Like I said, undeniable. I mean, it's the same with the death penalty. It's undeniable.
And when there's things like, what was it? The Jamie Bolger.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Where the videos of the boys like, yeah, we just killed him. We just hit him with rocks and stones. Then he stopped breathing. All of a sudden, take the chemical thing, because there's no grey area with that.
It's undeniable.
What you're saying, none. Take it. You're saying maybe 26 years later, they found a strand of hair that may have been someone else's. I'm not hearing any of that. Because if it was my daughter or my son or myself, and I was the victim, and you're saying, well, we're not sure. We're going to put them away for 25 years, but we're not 100% sure. So when they come out, if they still have their tendencies, they can act on it. Chemical, this thing like that.
So a question, and Rain might not know the answer. After they've been given the chemical castration, do they still go to prison, or are they now released?
I think that's it's a byproduct. You go to prison
with that,
and you get that as well.
Yeah. When they have to hand in their clothes, they get a tray. with the injection thing.
Well, they got to do it themselves.
Yeah. Oh shit. Into your thigh.
All right, cool. I'm gonna move on. So in the last podcast, we didn't talk about this. I made a prediction. I don't know if anyone remembers. I said Diddy is gonna bust case.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
you
did.
did say
Yes, you did.
Right. What's my name?
Ray Stradamus.
All right, then say no more. But right, so
Are you stunned?
Brother, I told you. I'm just
I was gonna say,
Did you not see the hand?
When I come myself, I was like, Russ.
so
I'm like, you know what?
Yeah. Did you not see that?
hate on the guy.
right,
You know,
I'm gonna move on. So
All right, you're getting
You see,
paid, bro. We know, we
the
know.
Bob as well.
he was cleared of 3 major things, right? So that was the heavier things. What he is still to be charged for on October the 3rd, or the sentence for, so he's been found guilty, of illegally transporting prostitutes.
Across state lines.
So prostitutes, but he's put them into a car and brought them somewhere else. So that's what he's gonna face a sentence for on
Up to
October
10 years, right?
potentially. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. First thing, when he went back into prison, where he was staying, they gave him a standing ovation because he bust case.
He bust
Did anyone
case.
know that?
No.
Mad. Anyway, the question is, I was talking with somebody else, and they said that the 3 elements that he bust case for, should Cassie face the same court proceedings as she was part of
it.
some of that.
Right. If it is proven, because I haven't followed the case all the way through. If it's proven that she was part of the organization of the prostitution, by all means.
No, but you got to understand, she was her circumstances would have been she was orchestrated to do it via him. So he is the ringleader. She's told him, he's told her, to go get the prostitutes and do it. So she was just gonna say he's
But guilty
he's-
by association, though.
is guilty by association, but she's saying she's been pushed and forced to do it.
That
Do you know
would
what I
be
mean?
that would be a
Actually,
defense
got
against.
No.
Once again, that's as we've already established, that is not indefensible because
still
social enterprise means you were part of the crime.
And you got paid for it.
And
So because you were part of the crime, you can levy the same as the instigator of the crime.
so
If we all were left here now, and someone downstairs got killed by Tongo, as we are all here, under the rules of joint enterprise, they can say, well, what role did you have?
Yeah.
And we can say, well, we didn't do nothing, but we watched him do it. So you didn't stop him. So therefore, that's as good as committing a crime yourself.
in America, it's called a RICO. So it's a RICO case. So everyone that was involved or had part or knew can be charged the same way as the original potential perpetrator.
But I thought,
It's called joint
but I thought
enterprise.
Cassie orchestrated and organized some of the things of her own will anyway, which I think there's
Well, she's going to deny that now.
The question,
messages
the,
that they've shown of her initiating, etc. Of
the question is, should she? Well, there's 2 things. So should she go to court as Diddy did?
yes,
No.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know.
Depending on the evidence, it depending on the evidence, I'd say yeah. If the evidence is there, then yes.
Sorry, you go to court for them to decide. So there's no reason why they can't go to court
And then see if she's
and
Okay.
see. If,
Yeah.
do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we're treating it like when you go to court, you're
But
guilty. It's
to get her to court, you'd have to have enough evidence and reasonable suspicion.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure on that part. But I haven't followed the case. Similar to Wiley, I don't know enough about the case.
I reckon if Diddy wanted to, he could get her to go to court. As in, not get her to go to court. He can say, yeah, nah, man, she was involved in it. Like, we had the free coughs. Obviously, you've cleared me of the free coughs in regards to her. I won't do nothing with her, but she was there taking whatever in her face and man pissing on her. Go and talk to her.
I'll tell you the funny thing about it though. I don't know if you remember when this whole thing kicked off. They was talking about in the baby oil, there was drugs, there was all these guns that was unlicensed. None of these things came through in the charges. When it came through the trial,
What you have to remember,
none of them came through.
what you have to remember, I could take you to we can go to court with 130 charges.
Yeah.
When we're sitting in front of like the prosecution and the defense are sitting together, they're gonna say, we're gonna prosecute for this, this, and this. And the defense gonna say, well, okay, prosecute for that, but we want you to take off this, this, and that.
Yeah, right.
So when they take certain charges off, because the prosecution will look at it and say, what's the most likely we'll get a conviction on, rather than do the whole 150 cases. We're just going to go with these 6 or these 7 or these 10 because we think these are the ones that we're going to
most
win.
likely.
And the other ones, literally, and it sounds mad, they just carry on like it never happened.
That's why they said the prosecution didn't do a great job on the Diddy case. Some of it didn't.
Yeah. All right, moving on. So this week, MPs voted no in regards to terrestrial TV being able to show 10 Premier League games. So terrestrial TV being you can watch them for free. The MPs voted no.
That's because they don't like football.
Money.
No money, bro. Money.
Right.
Money.
So with that in mind, so they voted no. So it all goes to Sky Sports, TNT, Amazon Prime, and DAZN or however you want to pronounce it, whatever you want to call it. And then with that, that costs you 140. If you was to buy all of them on a good day, it comes to about £114. So are we saying that
A month.
A month, sorry. A month. Are we if you had to have all of them, are we saying that this is simply about money and the government is shafting us?
100%.
I mean,
one at a time. Who's going, buddy?
I mean, there's so many angles to it. I mean, and the reasons that you've stated that they've said no, I think is they're people stream it. It's just like people stream everybody's streaming everything nowadays.
I don't.
Neither do I.
Okay.
Me neither.
But I'm saying everybody's streaming everything at the moment. All right. Not necessarily illegal streams, but I'm saying stream everything. So they'll still find a way to watch it. Or you just go to your local pub and you just say, I'm just gonna watch it at my pub or wherever it is that you're going to. Now, originally, when it was back in the day, they said that the 3 o'clock blackout was so that the grounds would have enough people going to, because people could now, instead of watching it,
and the lower league teams will have people attending.
This is the reasoning. So if you're going to say to me that was the reason why they said no, I'd have sat there and said I'm fine with it.
That's viable, you think?
But because I mean, what's the point of going to a game if I could just watch it at my house? I don't understand. And I got commentary and I got replays and all the rest of it. I'm staying at my house.
The difference,
do you know what I mean?
The difference is, but I think now, the Premier League and the Championship, right? I'm not going to disregard the Championship. The Premier League and the Championship is shown around the world. Like, how many of us have been on holiday and you can watch a Prem match live in other countries on the BBC as well? Yeah. We're just going to put it out here because this country has a different law. The UK are stuck with this, as Buddy said, the 3 p.m. blackout thing, and it's stifled progression. Now Sky, BT Sport, DAZN, now Amazon who've come in, and there are a couple others waiting for the door to open. Because they're making so much money, and so much is paying in tax towards the system that the BBC are not getting and whatever else, then we have a problem. This is why you still don't see replays of matches until Match of the Day.
All right.
No, they've started something on Sky.
But even then, that's a subscription. So you have to pay for your Sky which gives you access to it.
Yeah,
if you don't pay for Sky,
if
you don't pay for Sky, you don't get access to the replay. So now for Sirelli, Sirelli don't watch football anyway, but he don't pay for Sky, so he can only watch his team on Match of the Day. So until they clear that up,
there's one thing that I suppose we're missing out as well. The BBC isn't free either. We're paying for the BBC, not as much as obviously what we're paying for Sky and everything, but you still have to pay your TV license. So it's a con, bro.
It is a con. All right, let me move on quickly. Glastonbury, the big story. Bob Dylan. Did anyone know what he did?
And
please tell us. Please tell us.
Kneecap.
Lollipop.
You know my brain is.
So Bob Dylan, he did a show. He did his performance, and in a break in the performance, he did 2 chants. So one was
deaf to
the IDF
from the river.
Was it River Sea or was it Free Palestine? Well,
and the other was Free Palestine.
It was from the river to the banks or something like that.
From the river to the sea.
That'll be what. Anyway, so off the back of that, the BBC left the performance live. should the BBC have taken it? As in, should you know what it is? So when you got live TV, you know they've got a dump button, which is a 30-second delay. Where if anyone does anything kind of crazy,
no, we don't have that. The USA have.
We definitely have
We
it.
do.
We have 6
British
seconds.
standards says, bro. No.
30 seconds, definitely. I checked it.
The reason why I think I know that the USA have the 6 or 7 seconds,
Right.
but I didn't think the UK had it because even when there is nonsense said on TV, you know, like when journalists are live and then you get someone come up behind them and then they do a slur or they do anything, they don't have. This is why I didn't think we had.
So that's different. So for things that's not political or not endangering, right? So for example, if the journalist got hit with a bottle behind the head and blood started gushing everywhere, you wouldn't see it, even if it was live.
I would love that.
No. I get what Citrus is saying.
I understand what he's saying, but like I said, if
He's
it's not
slightly
something the producer has to make that call and say, let it through, don't let it through.
No,
And
he's slightly right.
that's the argument because
so
he is
what
slightly
happened
right.
with Glastonbury was they knew Kneecap. They knew Kneecap have a history of chanting certain things. So Kneecap wasn't shown live on the BBC. They made a decision not to put them, so that was never on the Glastonbury show. However, they didn't know about Bob Villain.
Bob Villain said they were going to do it because they stopped the previous act from doing it. They said they're going to make sure they do it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So he didn't. However, there's been quite a few interviews with people that attended Glastonbury and said it weren't just the two. There were several acts that made several statements. However, because his statement was the death to the...
And he made the crowd chant it as well.
Yeah.
It wasn't...
So because
There was flags.
Yeah.
They had the
Because of
flags
that.
chanting
in there.
Yeah, because of that, this is why they're making him a scapegoat. And one thing that was really interesting, and I was talking to this person who's an Israeli, and he doesn't agree with the war, but he said one thing that he didn't agree with is with all of the chanting and all of the statements that were made, the system is now villainizing these artists or this artist,
Bob Villain.
taking the focus away from what he was talking about,
Right.
or the message he was trying to convey. Do you get what I mean? So it's a very clever spin. Do you get what I mean? And that part, I'm like, oh, so the message still doesn't get through. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. All right. I got a couple more, and then we'll move on to the topic. The prison watchdog basically states that an insane amount of drugs, contraband, is being dropped in to prisons via drones. So you can get virtually anything. I think there was one thing that came out where they were saying that for you can pay £500 for a bucket of KFC and it'll be dropped in there.
Yeah, I was about to say.
The prison watchdog are starting to get frightened because have you seen the development in regards to the technology of drones, the amount of weight that they can carry now?
Wow.
They can carry people.
Human being.
So the watchdog has said it's only a matter of time before a man flies a drone and someone's lifted out
And gone.
Can you imagine? Let's just for a second.
Brother, stop.
Us lot are all in prison,
Stop, brother.
right? The producer has a drone. I'm like, yo, bro, I got someone that can run the thing. And he's like, yo, all
10
right,
bags.
let's go today. 10 bags. I got the 10 bags. Send it to him. Could you imagine me just being whizzed up and then it flying out and then you hear it and then put me down on the top of the wall.
You know what the funny thing is?
23 foot high on barbed wire. I'm just hanging there with a thing trying to just take me off.
You know what the funniest thing is?
That would be my luck.
The UK, health and safety is such a high thing on priority. If that was to happen, they wouldn't be able to shoot the drone down.
They wouldn't shoot a drone.
They would have to let you get away and then talk about, we're going to go and chase the person wherever they are. Because they'll be like, if you get taken up and we shoot the drone and the drone comes down and you hurt yourself, instant sue.
But in regards to the question, are you not worried? Are you not worried that certain criminals will eventually be able to escape via drone?
Nah, man.
No, because
because
I believe the prison system eventually have to have a counter drone system.
But just put a lid over the thing.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah,
Not a lid. That's mad. Not a lid. Not a lid. Man in the Outer Hebrides ain't getting no lid over their thing.
Put a
What
lid
I'm
over the
saying
thing.
is you just got a counter drone. which is the military
Oh,
drone.
rah.
That's here.
Nah, that's mad. Such as looking Modern Warfare.
With little missiles,
Little
yeah?
missiles.
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Just touching on the team. Then you see something in the airspace, a warning light goes off,
Ground to missile, ground to air missiles, yeah?
and then just laying it down, and then it was the albatross. Nah, uproar.
Nah, bro.
Just get the guards ODM gear and they'll be fine.
And it'll be fine. You
Nah,
know what I mean?
Nah.
I'm down with that.
Just get one of those roofs that close and them things there. We're done.
Right.
Bruv,
Oh, go on.
in all of the prisons in the UK, that don't make no sense.
Only high security ones. The other ones, they get away.
Right. Second to last one. Anyone know Cycling Mikey?
Yeah. Yeah. I love this one.
I think everyone's happy about this.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I haven't seen the definitive
I know it is.
evidence to see if it's true. But apparently, he has been banned from doing what he does. So what Mikey does, he has a camera on his helmet and he rides up next to cars. And if you're on your phone, he says you shouldn't be doing that, mate. And then he sends the footage to the police. And then
You got beat up in it.
The police will then send you a fine or bring you to court.
Sorry, Ray,
Now-
I need to interject. He doesn't just send the video. He attends court as well.
Yeah.
Sorry, I need to
So
just put that in.
what it is, he has helped issue 3,000 points and fines totaling £200,000. But what's happened is there's some copycats that are doing the same thing as him. And what the copycats are doing, they're doing the same thing with the camera phone, and they're saying like they're going up to black cabs,
People that need their license.
ambulance, wherever, and they're saying, "Rah, you got to run me 50 notes or run me a score." So what they're saying is because of the copycats, Mikey can't do what he's doing because those guys are extorting people. So firstly, the extorting of people, is that cool? Yes or no? But are we happy about Cycling Mikey? Because remember, Mikey does his thing because I think somebody
Killed his dad.
is it his dad?
His dad.
So someone killed someone that he knew, his dad, and then he's on a mission to just make sure no one's using his phone. It's quite a noble cause if you think about it. He's kind of used his life to kind of he's almost like a Batman, isn't it?
Wait. There's little bits of detail we need to add in.
Go on then.
So first piece of information we need to add is Mikey makes a good living.
Guy Ritchie,
Yeah,
Chris
Eubanks. Yeah. So he's caught quite a lot of prestige people.
high profile.
And I must admit, he doesn't discriminate. Everybody's going to prison. Everyone's going to court. He don't care.
Yeah.
But he's making a pretty penny from this. Like he's making, like this is his job.
How do you make money from it?
YouTube, all kinds of things. He posts because people are watching. People are now, drivers are watching to see where he's doing it, these kind of things. Because if you get caught and you go caught, if you're a taxi driver, 6 points,
6 points.
you get caught twice,
and that's your license gone.
that's your license done. There are jobs that will not allow you to do your job
because you've got 3 points.
because you got 3 points. So
Let alone 6.
So there was one guy he caught, and the guy was pleading with him. Grown man, knew the camera was there, and he was almost on the verge of tears. And Mike is like, you know, you shouldn't have done it.
So right, here's a question.
And wait, sorry, Rain, sorry. I understand it's noble, and I also believe there is a place in society for this type of act.
Police officers.
No. Police officers got different things to deal with.
Yeah.
The issue I have is many of the people that he's caught are stationary, in traffic, red light, and they're like, oh. And he cycles up beside them, the light's red, and don't get me wrong, using your phone is using your phone. But there's a difference in using the phone at a red light and using your phone doing 40 miles an hour
On the dual carriageway.
on the dual carriageway with
That's
your phone
mad,
in your
yeah.
hand, and all right,
Trying to take.
all right,
Yeah.
all right, big difference. And the people, I would argue, sitting in traffic are way different to those who are driving actively, mileage on the road and using their phone.
Okay, but if a policeman stopped them, would it be any different?
Nope,
Is
same
it
thing.
like ignorant?
Same
Same thing.
Yeah,
I'm saying
police
out of the people that, but I'm saying out of the people,
That's their job, bro.
out of the people who are being targeted because he's at traffic lights, he's on a pushback, he's at traffic lights and saying, look, you gotcha. Do you know what I mean? Which is different to, and I'll be very honest, I'm driving, I'm in my car, I'm in my van. If I have to put the sat-nav in, I'm not pulling over, turning the engine off, taking my key out, going across the road, putting in my sat-nav, then getting back into my car, starting the engine and driving to where I'm going. I might be like, yo, let me just
Do a thing quick.
park up, let's go. I'm going again.
That's what you would hypothetically do.
Hypothetically. However, there's a big difference with that and someone that, as you said, is now if you're driving, and I've seen it, I'm driving, and I pull up next to someone and they're driving their car and their phone's in their hand. So how much attention are you paying to the road? And the one thing I always think about is if a kid steps out, your reaction time is mad.
There is one thing after this.
Like,
So
catch them.
I
That's
used
the thing.
to, I must admit, I'm one of those people that watches his videos because
Subscriber.
So you're a
no,
subscriber.
I'm not subscribed, but I,
Giving
just,
money.
I mean,
I only
I mean,
subscribe to
you're gonna
MT
make
podcast.
he is.
You're paying his bills.
I only subscribe to
Revelation
MT
is not where he
podcast.
is.
So as I was saying, a lot of the people that he's caught, for example, when he caught Chris Eubank, he wasn't using the phone in the sense of typing on the phone. He was actually having a conversation, and he was just holding the phone, and it was connected either wireless or whatever the case may be, and he was just talking to the person. And then yet still, it's almost like, oh, it's Chris Eubank, so therefore, yes,
Did
it was-
he bust case then? Did he bust case?
no, everybody gets
No.
caught, bruv. There's nobody he's taken to court.
95%.
Yeah, like
Okay.
It's not 100%.
it's not 100%, but it's if he catches you, yeah, just
It's a-
accept you're getting
It's
the
a
free
weird
points.
one because
Because the law, it says the phone has to be on your person, isn't it?
Yeah, it cannot be touching any part of your person.
Yeah.
Well, it can be. You can touch it if it's on a mounted display.
Yeah.
No, I've read it.
Yeah, you can.
It can't be
You touch
touching
it.
any part of your person.
No, but it can be on a mounted display.
Yes, it can be on a mounted display, but you're not supposed to interact with it. So
but
the
I
statement is you're supposed to set in your destination
Sat-nav,
before
and
you
then-
go,
and
and then just follow it. You're
Yeah,
not
you're
supposed to
allowed touch
physically
it.
touch
Yeah.
it. You can't even be on your lap like this.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
that
So like, if you're stationary, so like let's think of the car that I drive. Can I bust case then if I
Use
I'm-
Apple AirPlay.
well
Fine.
no, but no, if I am in traffic stationary,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't need to pay attention because the car automatically brakes and stops for you. So like right now, if I drive my car,
Technicality.
if I drive my car and stop and get out and walk away, the handbrake the handbrake goes on.
Mm.
If I'm in traffic and take my foot off the gas or the gas pedal or the pedal, sorry, the handbrake
Accelerator
goes on.
pedal.
Yeah, whatever. The handbrake goes on, so I can't move. Does that mean if I went to case with that logic, I can bust case?
No.
Because
No.
the
No.
concentration that I would need, I don't need because I'm stationary in traffic and the safety feature in the car has already been.
I don't think
No, the law
being on-
states
An engine being on.
I haven't got an
Yeah.
engine. It's an electric car.
the law states
I haven't
if
got
you're
a key. I haven't got a key.
the law states if you are
It's
in
gotta be off, though.
operation or in control of a vehicle.
Yeah. Okay.
The
Yeah.
engine's got to be off.
I haven't
Stop,
got an
bruv.
engine.
He doesn't have an engine. Stop, man. What's wrong with you?
Brother, you know
Someone-
what I mean?
Sorry, go on.
Go on, go on.
So if you're in a, just for Tongo's sake,
Yeah.
if you're in a car that does have an engine and it starts, it's still you in control of the vehicle. The law basically looks at it as if you're in the vehicle, you're in the process of driving,
Right.
then don't touch your phone.
The crazy thing is, even if you're sitting in the passenger seat and there are keys in the car.
What?
Yes.
I don't know about that one, but I know if you're in the driver's seat and you parked up on the side and there's keys in ignition,
Yeah, yeah,
you
I
can
know-
still
yeah.
get done.
My dad told me that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it is. Look, the law is what it is, and we're not here to kind of finite the details of it.
Mm.
But going back to Mike, yeah, he got caught, and the guys who are going out there and on a here's my phone,
Run me
£50.
notes.
I have to take my hat off to them. They're doing a better job than him
That's
because
extortion, though, isn't it?
because after that, but listen, let's be fair. You got the option of you're going to court, potentially can get 6 points, or run you £50, and you're going to remember that.
But the man still got the footage. I've seen the dude. He's
Yeah,
taken the payment, and the footage is still on the internet.
Yeah, but he hasn't taken it to court, and that's the thing.
Oh, right. Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's the fact of running, because you have to remember, for a taxi driver, for example, if you run their thing to court and then you attend court and say, I was the person who was there, I saw him with my own eyes, I caught him, rah, 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 rah. That's 6 points.
Okay.
Your insurance, especially if you're doing like a licensed cabbie or anything,
Yep.
your insurance premium goes from £2,000 to $5,500 like that. So running you £50, £100, that ain't nothing.
I mean, it's a noble thing. I get the nobility of what he's doing. I understand it. I don't necessarily think he should be doing it though. I'm not going to sit there and go.
We know someone that got caught by him. Wait, one
really?
second. Us three definitely really used to. I'm not sure about. One of our
Wow.
soccer friends got caught by him.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I feel to myself, it's like earlier on about the whole Karen thing. Like, do we need that someone just going around, just going, oh yeah, I'm just gonna just say, oh, you're doing this.
vigilante.
Yeah, well, do we need it?
However,
like Batman, you need
however,
Batman.
however, what I would also say is because he's doing it, how many people are now more aware
Right,
that
yeah.
I'm not going to
And this is why I
have
said
a
the
phone.
noble
So-
side of it.
So there are parts of it where it does a good job. And if one of our families were involved, members of families or friends were involved in an accident because the person was on their phone, then we're singing these praises. So,
Like I was saying,
It's
the noble side of it, I do understand. At the end of the day, it's something as big as that has happened in my life or in any one of our lives, and we had to sit there and face those consequences. I understand the reasons behind it, but not everybody deserves the same the same punishment as he's now giving out. Because, like I said, some people need that for their livelihood, and to do that to certain people that are sitting there going, "Rah, I just picked up my phone. My son just messaged me. I just picked it up for a split second. Please." Do you know what I mean? It's like,
but
nope,
it's
everybody under the same
interesting
brush.
You say that. One of the people that did bust case was because he had his phone in his hand. His wife called him, but she went into labor.
Oh, yeah.
And he answered the phone to say what hospital, and she gave him the look. So I think he told him the hospital, and he was typing it into his phone like as a sat-nav, and then that's when he got caught.
Wow.
So he turned around and said, "Whatever points you want to give
the thing,
give the points,
yeah.
and I'll fight it in court."
Mm.
Left. When I had a baby, whatever else. When it got to court,
Turn up with the baby.
so I with a birth certificate.
At the time.
And just say, look, there you go.
I'm gonna move
Really
on.
one,
I've got two more, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do both of them.
This guy's had two more.
I know,
Bro, straight up.
but what it is, there's so much, and I missed stuff, and these are good ones. So, did you know the Notting Hill Carnival was at risk of
Yeah.
being cancelled?
Had $1 million
Of course we do.
funding
So
recently.
it was at the risk of being not going ahead, and then 4 bodies stepped in. So City Hall, which is the mayor's office, the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea, and then City of Westminster. There was one more, but I can't remember it. So they basically donated £1 million.
So why wasn't it going to go ahead, Mr. Rain?
Because they didn't have the funding. That £1 million was needed for whatever it's needed for.
I think it was policing.
Listen,
Whatever, it doesn't matter. It was not gonna.
It was needed.
It was needed. Now the fact of the matter is, like, how many people go to Carnival over 2 days?
2 million.
2 million. Can everyone that goes to Carnival give £1?
Yeah, but now you're going into the realms of them wanting to finance the whole thing for us.
But right, so you've got the issue of not financing it,
And it not going ahead.
right? What do so the point I'm making is that I'm not saying they should be charging for Carnival.
What, GoFundMe for Carnival?
But there should be something like that.
The problem is going to be if you go into the realms of charging per se for Carnival,
Yeah.
then you're not going to get 2 million people.
Do you know what?
No,
You're wrong there, because in other countries, they do charge you.
But
This
Do
country,
they get 2 million people
they
at those
do,
carnivals?
they
so
do.
Rio would, but
Do you know what I mean?
But I'm
Sorry.
not saying charging. We as a people that want Carnival, and
The producer nearly had a heart attack. Go on.
we as the people that want Carnival and don't want it to stop could easily give £1. You know what I mean?
100%.
And then that funding would keep it going. Now we run the risk of the police saying, right, you lot pay I don't know, £20 per officer to go to Carnival. Right, next year we're going to charge you £30. That is how they will stop Carnival. Because they will put up the pricing of policing. That £1 million becomes 1.5 million, and there's no funding for it.
So listen, only because of this is politics.
Of
It's
course
cool
it is.
because of
Yes.
politics. So I can't remember the year. So please excuse me.
Makes sense.
There were years Notting Hill Carnival was sponsored by Virgin.
Yep.
It was sponsored by Pepsi. It was sponsored by, I'm trying to remember, there was another big company that sponsored Carnival. Staying, for example, give me a brand.
Coca-Cola.
Nike Notting Hill Carnival. Do you not think Nike are going to turn around and slap that 1 million, 2 million, 3 million and say, look, hold that, we'll sponsor the whole event, call it the Nike Notting Hill Carnival.
Every float has to have a Nike swoosh on it.
Every float has a swoosh on it.
They used to do something.
So
New
when-
Year's Eve, they used to have it was sponsored by Foster's. It was the free travel was sponsored by certain companies.
Certain companies.
When it was free travel, yeah.
So therefore, through the politics, there's reasons why the Notting Hill Carnival ain't sponsored by X. There are big international companies from the Caribbean, from Africa, from the US,
That will buy
from Canada. Turn around and say what funding?
Yeah.
1 second.
Let's
So
have the carnival.
you're gonna get 2 million people watching my brand.
Yeah.
On every float, every
Yeah.
t-shirt, every banner, every billboard that's in the area. 1 second. Just put my thing everywhere. But for all of the press and all of everything else, there'll be no problem. You don't hear any of these other events saying that we can't afford it. You don't hear Glastonbury saying we can't afford it or whatever else. Now, when you say we have to charge for carnival, I do believe
I didn't say charge for carnival.
no, but to generate income for carnival, I do believe there are ways that we can cleverly introduce external
Funding.
capital processes to generate income for Notting Hill Carnival, which I'm definitely down for if you need more money for policing, because like you do, like we know how our people act sometimes.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Not
However,
people, just not our people, but people.
how people act, and a lot of our people, but how people act, I'll agree. But I also think just on the top level is we don't have many opportunities to celebrate us as a people.
Yep.
So whatever we need to do to protect that,
Right.
let's find a way
And that
to do
Of
that.
keeping that.
You know what the thing is? You're absolutely amen. The problem I have is they're making this, they're focusing on the left side, so nobody thinks about the right. How much money, and I don't have the figures, does Carnival actually generate the
I was
UK?
going to say that afterwards.
The figures are ridiculous. We're not talking 100 grand. Do you know what I mean? We're talking millions and hundreds of millions. Yeah.
396 million pounds
But
for London's economy.
But you need, what was it? 1 million to get that.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Someone
There was
just
no way.
chucked a million in
Oh,
off
The
there.
maths are not maths enough.
There was
man.
no way Carnival's been cancelled.
So just
No,
very
no,
quickly.
no,
What rumors was going around?
I wouldn't say that.
No.
In my opinion,
Glad you
opinion,
said it's your opinion.
yeah, I'm clarifying that.
This is not the MT
In
podcast.
my opinion, there was no way Carnival was not going ahead, because even the boroughs that are directly affected by it, so Royal Borough of Chelsea, North Westminster, and
Fulham and
Hammersmith
Hammersmith.
Brothers, Brent Hammersmith, I think it is, or Brent, or whatever it is.
All the neighboring boroughs
There's
benefit.
no way that they were going to let that income go, which is why Royal Borough Kensington found the money to help.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's not their call. And you're right in the sense of it wouldn't have, but I don't think their aim was to cancel it. I think their aim was to say, we have a problem.
Right.
So let's manage the problem out. And by doing that, see, Rain's on my page here. Let's put it in Hyde Park.
Right.
Where we can charge you at the door, and then we can get that money to do it, and then it's not a problem no more. So this is just
generates less money.
an early warning of things to come. This is a cascade prediction. Within the next 5 years, Notting Hill Carnival will be in Hyde Park.
They keep saying that for year, but putting it in Hyde Park will make it make less money, in my opinion.
No,
Because
it funnels the money.
Because the reason why I say less money is because now it's only one council. It's a smaller area, and there can't be as much vendors and shops, and because that's why it makes so much
But
money.
the council don't make that money.
Let me finish. Right. What I'm going to say, yeah, in that area, the reason why that area makes so much money, that's why the carnival generates so much money, because there's so many shops that are actually building, so they make money by the footfall. Then there's all the vendors that come in, etc., etc.
Hotels,
X, Y, Z, blah blah blah. Everything in Hyde Park, it's not like that. There's no shop, there's no buildings that are going to be involved in getting money. There's so many things that like fall by the wayside.
But
the council would make more money.
Right.
Because that's what you have to understand.
But then it's only one council.
Listen. It doesn't matter. Sorry, Rain. It's not about the fact of it's one council. More of that funding will go to, it doesn't matter if it's one council, two councils, more of that funding will go to the council, to the government's pot. So to give you an example, if you have a pitch in Hyde Park, I guarantee you over the 2 days, they're going to charge you in excess of $2,000.
Right.
That $2,000 is going directly to the council. It doesn't matter what borough it is, it's going to the council. So, borough, thank you. It doesn't matter. That fund is going, whereas now people are propping up the little table and whatnot and selling their little drinks, £2, £3 here. The council's not seeing that money. Whereas people are opening up their front gardens and selling
I'd say there's so
toilets.
much
They're
more
not seeing that kind of money.
It brings you. I mean,
But the
outside of
council are not benefiting.
All right, but it does, because you know what you're also seeing. Some people, and me and Citrus, who work in the moving industry, some people move to that area for that reason. Do you know what I mean? They'll move there to say, well, look, you know what, I'm just going to open my doors and let people use the toilet.
Or they move there to then try to cancel it because they don't want to hear the steel band.
And there's people that move out of the borough who don't want it. So look, at the end of the day, they want the money to come directly to them. If they can cut out all the middlemen and all the people that are involved, that's what they want to do.
They can't.
Right, I'm going to move on. I'm going to move on swiftly. There is two, but I'm only going to do one. UK versus US. So there's this
rap battle.
There's this mad thing.
I'm gonna stay out of this.
Yeah,
This is nonsense.
Who is it again?
Well, this is a madness that's happening. So
Skepta.
No, I think it started with Wiley and
Bridget
Skepta saying something, or Wiley and someone saying something, and then Skepta said, "Yeah, US should clash the UK," and then there was no. See, they said clash, and then there was this thing of people saying raw. What was it? It was Eminem versus Gets. It was I can't even remember.
Chip versus Kendrick, I think it was.
Chip versus Kendrick.
Wiley versus I can't remember who it was.
It doesn't matter. We'll find.
Whoever
the
it was
name.
was wild.
What's your? Why is it wild?
Because I think who the UK recognize as top rappers or the top rappers.
Yeah.
I feel like in the same way, like in America, there are people on more of a underground circuit that can probably smash them all.
UK.
Yeah, in UK.
What?
Right. I don't know. I don't particularly watch them, but you know they have like Rap Battle UK and all these things. Yeah. When you hear those rappers, that's their craft. Yeah.
Yeah. DNA, JC.
In regards to
Hoff.
rap battling, in regards to clashing. Yeah.
Shout goes out to Tech.
Yeah. That's who I'm really thinking of. Them man there would probably bury Gets or Wiley or Stormzy or that's what I'm saying. So, but they man would not even be considered to be the people that represent UK.
I wouldn't say they'd bury them, but
I said some of them could. I'm not saying that they would or could. I'm saying hypothetically.
I'll put it
same
out
way, like in America, they have a circuit like that.
Yeah.
And those rappers, when you look at those rap battles, could possibly bury some of the top commercial rappers in the US. So how would you gauge where the clash should be?
You gauge it from a point of view of the word is clash. It's not rap battle. It's not tune for tune. It's not on your album sales. It's not on how big your show was. It is in a clash. So clash format comes from dancehall. Lyrics for lyrics. I don't need to do a whole song. I just need to do 4 to 16 bars to get a wheel up. Now, if you're thinking about Eminem versus Gets in the clash format, who comes out on top?
So I'll give you the lineup as what Skepta was proposing.
Right,
some of them, yeah. Gets versus Eminem.
Yep.
Tip versus Kendrick.
Right.
Dave versus Lil Wayne.
Yep.
And Young Teflon versus Meek Mill. That was some of the names being floated across.
It might sound mad. I don't think Eminem comes out on top in a clash format against Gets.
No, I understand what you're saying, and
I don't watch enough, so I don't.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying in a clash format.
If they had
if you're talking about a rap battle, I don't think the UK comes out on top. A rap battle. If you're talking about in terms of if Gets is doing it as a grime battle versus an Eminem,
no, if he's doing it as a traditional clash,
rap battle,
Lord of the Mics style clash, young man standing type clash,
or
Gets wins
versus if he does it as a what's that thing that they do in America, like when they're doing the battle rapping, URL. I don't see him beating Eminem in that format.
I mean,
in the format Reigns just said, I think he's got more of a chance in the format of a rap battle. And this is the issue here. Rap battle. I don't see some of these artists.
I put Charlie Clips ahead of all of that, but
a rap battle,
into that.
No,
but
not a rap battle.
Like Eminem is a man that can sit in this room and make bust lyrics from the room.
It's not about lyrics.
but it's about
Go on.
it's a lyrics
Go
for
on.
lyrics.
It's
Go
not
on,
like that.
Let me finish.
It's a clash
It's a
format.
lyrics for lyrics for
Mhm.
a wheel up. Yeah.
Mhm.
You understand what I'm saying? He said lyrics for a wheel up. Yeah.
Mhm.
What apparently one of the things in 8 Mile was, yeah, is that Eminem spoke to, can't remember the guy that plays Captain America now.
That man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. He spoke to him like in the dressing room. There's a clip I've seen where he said he talked in the dressing room. He mentioned something to him, yeah, in the dressing room. Then when he done the lyrics for the show, when they're having the battle scene, he used the information that he told him in the lyrics. When he said something about, I can't remember, he even used his government name. Apparently, that's like his actual government name or
Mhm.
the whatever he said that he does is what actually happens in his real life.
You do realize
So in regards to how these rap battles are and these clash things are, when they talk about sending for a man, and especially when they use something truthful, yeah, that gets a very big reel up. So he would, I don't know if he can definitely outclass Gets in that format, or Gets can outclass him definitely in that format. I'll say with a very, very, very interesting class, that particular one. The only other person I probably have said rate in that kind of format, but the people that he proposed, I don't know if they're up for it. Kip, yes. The rest of them, I don't know.
So what's going on for the rest of the podcast?
We was about to get to
You
it.
did that last time, man. You
Yeah,
just
well,
interrupt
we
the
were
flow.
about to get to it.
Yeah, but just relax in it. If it's not your thing, just relax.
Should we have him stand in the corner?
You've done that. And the thing is that it leads on to the next part of the podcast,
Which
without
is
your interruption, which was
which was we are going to be discussing the MT podcast Mount Rushmore. Now, you've all had homework to do. All of you had homework to do, which was to go through a list of certain things and say who would make your Mount Rushmore. If you was to chisel out, get a hammer and a chisel out 4 people's faces, who would make your Mount Rushmore? Now, I'm going to jump straight into, because we were talking about US UK rap, rappers. But before I do that, I'm going to say this is the empty podcast.
Hey.
Myself, Mr Wileycat DJ, the voice of reason. And to my left, we have.
Sirelli, ever so slightly broken.
And to my right, we have.
Rain Bomber Clark Nelson.
Next to him, we have.
Citrus.
Across, we have.
Man like Tongo, you're done now, Medea.
And last but not least, we have.
Buddy in the building, aka the truth.
So, truthful list we have for this Mount Rushmore. Now, for those that don't know what Mount Rushmore is a, I believe it's a mountainous area in America.
Yep.
They chiseled out 4 presidential faces on there. Excuse me. There's been a conversation generally about if we was to have a Mount Rushmore, various different things, who would be on there, whose 4 faces would be on there. Now, it's only 4. And we had this stems from a little convo we had back in the last podcast that went into a nearly an hour debate. So, excuse me, typing right into the first one, the Mount Rushmore of rappers. I'm going to start off with Buddy. Who would be on your Mount Rushmore of rappers?
I mean, before you even say it, all right, and we had this off air, so I'm glad you started with me because you need to get some clarity.
Buddy's bringing controversy straight away.
No, it's just the clarity in it. What is the Mount Rushmore you're looking for? Are you looking for my personal favorites? Are you looking for the achievements and or are you looking for statistically what people are saying? What way are you looking to do this? Because I need to understand that before giving everyone needs to understand that before giving the answers. Because I can say my favorites,
yep,
because that's personal to me. All right. But then that doesn't necessarily amount to being the best rappers or the best footballers or the best TV program, etc., etc. All right.
You need to mix it. You need to give a logical answer based on all the things that you're
at your disposal
using as variables. So personal favorites, you might want to flick in numbers, you might want to flick in notoriety. It's entirely up to you. But because if you just say personal favorites, then no one can argue with you.
And that's what I'm.
But if you flick in the other bits and bobs, then you have to kind of say, right,
their achievements, then yeah.
You flick it in. So again, what is your Mount Rushmore?
So who's your four?
Let's make it easier for you. If you're being paid, this is your job. You need to put 4 people up there. Who you?
No,
put?
but everyone's always going to pick their favorites, and I would tend to say to myself, if I'm picking my favorite rappers, the people that I listen to, or I'd sit there and say to myself, well, look, I'd put in Nas, I'd put in Jada, I'd put in Cole, and I'd put in Drake. Those are my personal ones that I listen to. Do you know what I mean? If I was now to turn and say to myself, who are the best that are out there, then you might start playing to myself, well, I'm putting in Biggie, I'm putting in Pac, I'm putting in Nas, I'm putting in Jay-Z, because those lot sit at a different table, I suppose. So if you're gonna just to round it off, I will say my personal ones. I'll stick to the first list that I turned and said,
which was
it was Nas, Jada, J. Cole, and Drake.
Okay, Tongo.
Big Daddy Kane, Jay-Z, Biggie, and Busta.
Wow, that's a hard list, you know. That's a hard list. Citrus, who would be on your
Mine
four?
is Biggie, Eminem, Nas, and Busta.
I've put down. You're looking at me, so I'm assuming you're my opinion.
Yes.
So I've put down Busta, Missy, Snoop, and Biggie.
Wow. Biggie made it onto everyone bar Buddy's one, I believe.
Traitor. I mean the truth.
It's a thing. I get it, and I know. See, like mine's a bit like, so I'll put on my Mount Rushmore Cannabis, Method Man, Raekwon, and
himself.
Even though he's new, Stove. God,
come on,
Griselda.
Come on, man.
Because there's no one better than him. No one better than him in coke rap. No one. I don't care what people say about Pusha T. I don't care what people say about Jay-Z. There's no one better than this guy.
You know what's mad? I put Method Man in my honorable mentions.
Right.
I can tell you.
You know what to ask you, buddy, about your list though?
Wait. Don't do that.
No,
Don't do that.
I've got.
Don't do. No. We'll fight. Don't do that. You can't just do that and not tell us yours. Come with it.
Listen, I'm asking the question, innit?
Nah, bruv, come with it. Run your four.
My four would be Nas, Biggie, Jada Kiss, because Jada's big influence for me. And I think the last rapper I would have on there would be probably Big Pun. But what I wanted to ask in regards to Drake, I can see Drake for the influence, but if you don't write your own lyrics, can you really be on there?
All right, so reasons why I would put Drake on my Mount Rushmore, all right, is what he's done for rap, for the longevity that he's done it for, all right, the impact that he's done, the music that he puts out. I mean, every summer for however long we've had a Drake tune that everybody's banging out of their car. Like I watch films, and when I'm watching films, I'm hearing Drake stuff come out, and Drake's tried to do. So I said to myself, look, as much as people might not like the person and certain things that he stands for, all right, I can't now say his influence hasn't been massive. Do you know what I mean? So I would put him on that. Lyrically, I put Jadakiss, because Jadakiss is probably lyrically the best person that I've actually put on there, between him and Nas. All right. And then I put J. Cole in there because lyrically after them two, it's got to be Jay for me. All right. So I sit there and say to myself, that's why I made my response.
You're saying it's more on a persona. When you talk about Drake, so ultimately what we're saying is the Mount Rushmore is your top 4. So you're saying Drake's persona is what makes him go on to your Mount Rushmore. Even though Party Next Door writes his lyrics, or whoever else writes some of his lyrics, it doesn't matter who writes his lyrics.
Like I said,
got a persona.
I mean, it's funny enough because Jadakiss actually done an interview on this and said, you can't put people on the Mount Rushmore if they don't write their own lyrics. Right. So I get where this conversation's going. However, all right, I'm looking at it purely on the fact of music. What gets banged when I'm at a club? What gets banged when I'm probably even at home or cleaning up or whatever, or in the car? Do you know what I mean? It's like I would listen. There's a lot of Drake stuff or music that does come out. Whether we like to sit there and say, nah, it doesn't. I don't like him. His music does come out. You're like, I didn't realize Drake was on that, or Drake was on that. So if you're gonna sit there and say he didn't write it, I'm not going into that he did write, he didn't write it argument. All right. I'm just sitting there saying to myself, I'd listen to his music. Like I said, lyrically, the other three that I put down, lyrically, they entertain me lyrically. Drake does entertain me lyrically, funny enough, in some of the things that he's got on some of his tunes. So I do sit there and go, you know what, I like your music. So I'm not going to sit there and go, it's undeniable that I actually like his music. So why am I now going to turn and say, well, because it's not a popular choice, and especially right now, after all the things that have been going on, don't put him on your Mount Rushmore. You know what I mean? I said, you know, I'll put him on there. I mean, Biggie, one of the arguments I would make about Biggie made what? 2 albums? Or one album when he was alive, the other album when he had passed away. And I sat there and thought to myself, is there enough on there for me to turn and say to myself, you know what, I'm going to put you on there. Everybody loves the Biggie stuff. And if I honestly, if I sent you the list, I said Biggie was on there. All right. And I just actually took him off. I said, you know what, let's do it by my personal choices and what I listen to. So I changed it and took him out of it. Biggie's one of them. Tupac again, another honorable mention if you like. All right. I think he was a poet. That's the only difference. Reason I think he's a very good poet, and he spoke about a lot of things that happened in and around him and stuff like that. So I give him great things. But musically, those are the ones that I would listen to if I had to go and do a search.
So since we're talking about lyrics, yeah, dancehall artists.
I was out on this artists. I'm all liar. I sent you the list.
So,
I said I was out.
You know the funny thing?
I'm
gonna come straight because I know Tongo's a dancehall man when it comes to lyrics and stuff, that's his bag. Who's your 4? Mount Rushmore.
Barrett Killer, Capleton, Beenie Man, Vibes Cartel. Honorable mentions to Ninja, Buju, Wrongful, and
everybody.
Yeah.
I started naming everybody. I actually don't even know where his top 4 was anymore.
But you've only got 1 chisel, 1 hammer. Who you
first
the
4?
4?
Barrett Killer, Capleton, Beenie, Vibes.
Citrus?
Sorry. Mine are Beenie Man, Capleton, Buju, and Supercat.
Ooh. Rain.
Me, Capleton, Bounty Killer, Mad Cobra. Because you know what? You know why I say Mad Cobra? Right? See that era of dancehall, it was just badness. When Bounty Killer was coming through, it was badness. And I know it's not nice to talk about, but it was about guns. It was about my gun to our school. You, Cobra, was saying I like that era, like the dancing era and the niceness and the slackness. I didn't care for it. I wanted to hear the bad man tunes, and Cobra was licking out bad man tunes. And then I do have to say Cartel, because Cartel had 2 sides to him. He had up to the time and up to the crime. Now, when it was up to the crime, it was beer badness, and that's what I liked. So that's me.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't go down your way. So for me, it was this bad man thing. I wasn't allowed to sing that in front of my mum.
What would you sing in front of your mum from dancing?
Nah, even the rhythms, she went on none of it.
Right. Okay.
When the instrumentals were playing, she went on none of it. So I went with Sizzler, Sean Paul. Sean Paul was for his contribution towards the dancehall industry as a whole. He brought it out to the masses. And as much as, you know, his tunes are not all banging, I think what he did for dancehall was a lot.
Why not Shaggy then?
Nah.
That Shaggy was a bit too wet for me, I'm sorry. It was a little bit too wet. It took it.
Probably did more for dancehall though.
You're probably right. You're probably right. But still, Sean Paul kind of still kept it a little bit dance. That's for me anyway.
He has some good classics, I suppose. Like
So Beenie, Buju, Sean Paul, and my favorite, Sizzler. I love Sizzler's diversity.
Yeah, it's at the first choice.
Yeah, as Sizzler.
Oh, who's the 4 again?
Beenie, Buju, Sean Paul, and Sizzler.
Oh, right.
Buddy, I don't believe you had a list.
I didn't, but I didn't put one down for you when I wrote it and sent it to you. But I would have said Sizzler, Capleton, and then I would have gone Vibes, and then the last one would have been open. As you've seen, I've done loads of open ones. And I probably would have. I wanted to say Beenie, because growing up, it was one of those ones where I think Beenie had a few tunes that kind of pushed you to
albums, brother.
So I have to kind of probably say Beenie if I was to go with anyone before I'd said it, like the Sean Pauls or anyone else. I was like, yeah, I'll go with Beenie.
Why is Sizzler on the dancehall banner?
Because you could argue. It's like Capleton, isn't it? Like Capleton.
No.
You could. No, 1 second.
Capleton
One
probably
second.
redefined himself probably about 4 times
1 second.
in and out of dancehall, consciousness, reggae, bashment. You know what I mean? Ragga, whichever way you want to do it. Capleton.
He was there.
All what you're saying, I was actually answering your question.
Okay, go on.
So my point is all what you're saying is exactly what I was about to say. But Sizzler has dropped a lot of dancehall tunes. I'm not saying, for me personally, I wouldn't have Sizzler in the list, but I could see he has. If you think about the period between
name me 3.
Name me 3. Pump Up Her, that one, yeah. There's a tune on the
exactly. You see,
no.
do things like that?
No.
That tells me
no.
Can't be
Let him finish.
No. Hold on. Remember. He wasn't on my top 3. He wasn't on my top 4.
So
but I'm saying
He's about to jump in now. You're going to annoy him now.
I can see why. I don't agree with it, but I can see why. Is what I was about to say. So in that argument,
it's my opinion.
If those that mention Sizzler played me their Sizzler playlist,
okay,
I do not think you will hear
dancehall
4
dancehall tunes.
I haven't got a Sizzler playlist, but I would have enough dancehall tunes on it.
It's a shame the producer ain't got a mic in it, but anyway.
We could do the 3-second play with him in the background.
Yes.
Don't start him off.
Yes.
Yeah.
But mine.
Jay, you got this, yeah?
So my dancehall list would be Elephant Man for the impact he had in that period between 99 to 2005, 2006.
Yeah,
I don't think there was an artist bigger than him in that period of time.
From when?
99 to about 2000.
All that kind of
in that period there.
No, in that
period there, I don't think there was an artist who was consistently over that period, and I'm talking from Scare Them Crew through to Pond the River, Pond the Bank. That period of time that every year he had a summer tune, a bit like how Capleton used to have it in the mid to early 90s.
Capleton transcended 90s though, man.
Yes, he did. But this is why I'm looking at it from that
and
period.
That era, Capleton was there as well.
Yes, but I'm talking about if I was to do my
first one.
That's my first one. My second one would be Capleton, purely for the reason of Capleton transcended a lot of eras. Yeah, my second one. My third one has got to be Buju. Dancehall Buju for me is one of the reasons why I started to play dancehall blatantly. Dancehall Buju, I can't get over that period of time. And the fourth one, the king of dancehall for me, isn't vibes, it's Beenie Man. Because Beenie Man for me had a period of time from the mid to early 90s through to up to about nearly 2010. I don't think Vibes has had that, and Vibes could argue he's the king of dancehall for a period of time, but I don't think in that for an extended period, longer than what Beenie Man had, I don't think he had it. And Beenie Man made it mainstream as well.
Yeah.
Took dancehall very mainstream. So for me, that's my fault.
I'm surprised nobody said Shabba Ranks though. I was expecting him to get a little honorable. Sorry?
But you never put him in.
No, but like I said, the honorable mention, he did a lot. He did a lot for
Here's the thing though, was Shabba in our era, or was Shabba, and I mean we heard Shabba, was Shabba really, was his golden era?
I had his album when
was his golden age though, before we were going out raving?
No, but you could say that about Capleton and those kind of things.
Yeah.
Capleton's golden age, we was at raving.
The difference between Shabba and say Capleton and whatever is that when the rhythms change, so arguably Blackout, Buzz, Showtime, Shabba wasn't on those rhythms.
Yes.
The man them that was on those rhythms turned into legendary status.
For us.
Yes.
For dancehall. It's not even just for us, for dancehall. Like my dad knows tunes on the Showtime. Like he sings Bounty Killer's tune. You know what I mean? As my dad. You know what I mean? So as much as Shabba
is Bounty Killer.
Why do you say I'm to love? Yeah, my dad sings the rhythms. I'm like,
as much as Shabba he did his thing stopped at a certain point where he wasn't on certain rhythms. And remember, when Dave Kelly, Music House, and all them were putting out rhythms, they only wanted certain man. And Cartel was brought by Killer, and he got squeezed onto a couple rhythms. And then Cartel bust. Movado, same thing. But the founders of that was Beenie Man. Cobra was still there. Sizzler didn't get onto many. Capleton got onto enough. And there's a few others. There's a few like Vegas had his little time and then he dropped.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
He was actually good in concert.
So
Vegas.
yeah.
You got good tunes, man.
For
Me,
me,
Killer bus too
yeah.
much people.
yes, yes.
Most people that we recognize as good artists now came from the Killer camp
Came
at
through
some point.
100%. Moving on swiftly. I'm gonna jump on to comedians. And I'm
Kojo.
gonna-
Kojo from me.
Let's be honest with you. Shouts out to Kojo. Shouts out to Fumbi when he was in as well.
Yeah.
We have had quite a few comedians come on to the
Yeah,
podcast,
yeah.
but I am throwing it out there. Comedians, you have a hammer and chisel to make your Mount Rushmore. Citrus, who makes your 4?
So my 4, I'm just going through it now. Give me 1 sec.
That's cool.
Is you need to prep me, bruv, so I can be
Let
ready.
somebody else
Don't
go.
worry.
So my 4 is I'm going to start off with English comedian by the name of Bill Bailey.
Yes, I know you're talking about. Go with the long hair.
He's got long hair.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
He's cutting, ain't it? He's cutting hair now.
Cutting,
Yeah.
It's good.
Bill, the reason why Bill Bailey was one of his shows that I watched randomly on the BBC, and he is also a very acclaimed musician.
Mm.
And he was doing a melody basically. So he started with one sound and he was adding on different types of sounds to this melody. So it started with a beat, with a bass beat, added a drum beat, added a guitar, added some harmony, blah, 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 blah. But whilst he's doing that, he's talking through his comedy set via the audience. So therefore, unless every member of the audience was placed, he might say, Sirelli's got a blue hat on. Okay, blue hat with a blue cap, but he's got a yellow cushion with a yellow cushion. And as he's doing it off the fly.
Yes.
He does this for about half an hour. In my head, I do not know any comedians just on the bounce that can entertain a crowd comedically for that amount of time just
Freestyle.
on freestyle. So that's why he made it there for me.
Yes.
Which I don't think he'd feature on any of yours. Outside of that, I went with my ultimate all-time favorite, Richard Pryor. He'd probably have the biggest face on the mount,
Yeah. He had his whole body, to be fair.
but closely followed by Bernie Mac
Mhm.
and then Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
Shout goes out to Delirious and Raw. I'll probably watch those 2 stand-up shows combined 100 times.
Raymond.
Shaped my childhood.
Cat Williams. I
Mm.
just think he's like he makes me laugh, and I know everyone talks about other people. Like these people, like I might chuckle. Like Kevin Hart, he might say something funny, but he doesn't make me laugh.
Nah, Kevin makes me laugh.
It doesn't make me laugh. Like
Have you been to his concert?
yeah, I did go. Oh, what did I go?
Which one did you go to? Because
What is
Kevin
it?
made me laugh, bro.
He's moving the goalposts.
No,
I've been
can.
to your first question. Yeah, I've been to one. Yeah. But Cat Williams,
Was he there though when you went?
like,
Did you sit in this row?
Pimp Chronicles, when he's in the green suit, is the funniest thing I've watched from a comedian. And what it is, he addressed political stuff, but with comedy. He addressed the Michael Jackson thing with comedy. So he's
He
in there.
apologized for that now.
It doesn't matter. It was still funny. Like, has anyone seen Pimp Chronicles 1?
Yes.
Yes.
If you haven't seen it, just watch it, man. Just watch it. If you say it's not funny, it's not funny. But anyway, does anyone remember Have I Got News for You?
Yes.
No, not Have I Got News for You. Whose line is it anyway?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
Right. There was a guy on there called Ryan Stiles.
Mhm.
He was an improv comedian. So
Yeah.
a bit like your guy, but they used to have
Yeah.
there used to be a show which was hosted by Clive James, and there used to be 4 comedians, and they used to give them a subject and they had to
Yes.
do
Mhm.
stuff. But he had his own show.
Tony Slattery was on there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Tony Slattery, Josie something.
Yeah.
There was a
Jo-
few of them.
Wait,
Yeah.
that program is bad boy.
This man was a genius. He's on that level where, like, if you said "Raw, Buddy Silver Chain," he would make up make up bars, but a comedy bars about that. So he was heavy. Then I would say Bernie Mac, easily in there, more for the rawness and the delivery, and like even like we all struggle to understand him at points, but it was funny, innit?
I think you hit the nail on the head. He's just raw, innit?
Yeah.
I just feel like I say, your fucking mum's a bitch. And it's just Ross. Where did that come
Wow.
from? Like,
Wow.
whoa. Like, you know,
Wow.
he's just
Wow.
raw. That is that type of raw. Like, no, I'm just saying, it's just that raw. It just come from nowhere. I get it.
And he just, and the delivery as well. And then Eddie Murphy. The only reason Eddie Murphy was probably the first stand-up comedian that I listened to. I remember being in America, and my cousin, he had one of the shows on a vinyl, and he had Technics 1210s, and he said, "Listen to this," and he put it on. He made me listen to it because it was swearing in it, and I was young. But then I took that on board, and then a couple of years later, I started listening back to it, and I was like, "Right, this is actually funny." So that would be my fault.
Really? Okay, so for me, as Citrus said, the Godfather, Richard Pryor. For me, he's carried me through many journeys. Like when you're doing those long drives, I had his CD collection and I'd throw that in and I'm on the motorway busting up on my own kind of thing. So yeah, definitely Richard Pryor. Bernie Mac, again, I love his delivery. He's funny, but his delivery, his timing, and with comedy, a lot of it's to do with timing. So that's something for me. My last two, Red Fox, because he's the Godfather. His comedy came natural. It wasn't something that he had to think about. It was literally just, it's like having one of the man them who just always on point. He was always up there for me. And lastly, Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle.
Bloody hell. Where's my syringe?
The drink is liquid.
Dave Chappelle. I know Dave Chappelle. He's all right though.
For me,
Brilliant Manibian.
for me, I like the way he's a storyteller. He brings politics into it. He brings important subjects into it, and he delivers it with great timing and class.
Okay, buddy.
Eddie Murphy, I mean, Delirious and Raw has been spoken about a ton. And he actually held down a long period of being that guy in it. Kevin Hart. Kevin, yeah, I mean, you can say what you want to say about Kevin, but Kevin's got a lot of longevity, and I've been to a few of his shows over here, and I've thoroughly enjoyed them. And anybody that said that they didn't enjoy them, apart from Rain, because Rain's trying to just hold it out.
Is what he does comedy, or is it stupid?
No, it was actually funny. He had some good. There were so many one-liners in it that I went on to X, as it's called now. All right, and I was on there, and everybody was just listing them. There was just loads of them, and it was hilarious. And I sat there and thought to myself, it was so good. I went to see him again and again. I've probably seen him about 4 or 5 times. To the point now, I've got to the point I was like, I ain't going again. Do you know what I mean? You're too expensive. Because it's expensive now. No, it's because it's expensive. And I'm just like, I got to a period where I was seeing him so regular. I started thinking, are you now going to repeat the same joke I've just heard this time? And he didn't. He done quite well. I would then go to Bernie Mac for the reasons why everyone else is probably said already. And I would have gone with Dave Chappelle. I was actually hoping no one would say him, and then you decided to go and drop him. But you called him Michelle, so it's fine. But Dave is for his skits. His skits made me laugh. I've seen him live as well, which was actually quite good. You know what I mean? He was on a stage smoking. But I do rate Dave. I think he's actually he's really good.
Silly question. Why did you mention the smoking? Just for
no, because he was he wasn't allowed to smoke in the building. They said you're not allowed to smoke. I think you had to take a fine for smoking if you smoke inside of the O2. Okay. And he's confident.
Is he sitting down?
Was he sitting?
He's just smoking.
He's just smoking his cigarette. I was like, rah, this guy's he's just a bad man, isn't he? He's like, I'm gonna take the fine and do what I'm doing. And then it's part
of his act.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was and exactly what it was. It was part of his act. And I just said to myself, there's so much to you. I mean, I was gonna say a couple other people, and I was thinking to myself, we've all kind of gone very urban, if you like, all right, with our Mount Rushmores. And I thought to myself, I said pretty much urban. All right. And I said to myself, you know what? I was going to even say, Jim Carrey, but there was a lot of people that do a lot of stupid type of comedy, but I suppose maybe his oldest, slapstick.
That's stupid.
Hart, though, man.
No, he's not. He's got delivery. I thought that when I first went to go and watch him, I thought to myself, he's going to do the type of comedy that's just like Keenan and Kel. And I'm like, I'm not really into this. This is dumb. But then when I actually saw him, I was like, you actually had a lot of good delivery. It was funny. It was hilarious. I was cracking up. So I rated him.
Tongo.
Honorary mention
Go
to
on.
Lee Mack. I really like Lee Mack. He's a good one-liner.
Jimmy Carr.
Jimmy Carr is
Carr.
definitely a good one.
It's his laugh, innit?
It's not even the laugh. It's just that
Controversial deliveries. Brings
when he started, he never smiled.
Mm.
And that, I'm like, you're saying
deadpan,
something.
innit?
Yeah, you're
Like
saying
Jack D.
Jack D is another one. Yeah, I forgot about that. Jack D, yeah. But anyway, yeah, sorry.
Tongo.
So my first on the list was Bernie. For me, his part of Kings of Comedy is just too legendary. And then when I've seen all the other clips that I've seen of him, even I think he's died way too early, even how he was when he was in the films, you just can't stop busting up at this guy. My other person was Dave Chappelle.
Because you look like him.
One.
Do you know what? The one
Two.
I can't not see it.
Now people have come up to me, random people, even people from America in UK have come up to me and said, "Man, anyone told you, man, you like Dave Chappelle, man?" I'm like, "Yeah, I've been told."
You take that as a compliment.
Is that your American accent?
Maybe, but
Definitely not Dave Chappelle. But that's right.
I was gonna say, so Dave Chappelle, to me, he is the modern GOAT, the modern day GOAT, if that makes sense. Dave Chappelle, I said, he just, I don't know, man, his intelligence when he's telling jokes, like he'll tell you a story and you think, where's he going with this? And when he comes with it, you're like, rah. And he'll give you a message, but you're still busting up. And you take the message away, but you take the humor away with it as well.
We can see the relation. It's fine.
So that's that. Eddie Murphy was probably the comedian of my youth. Like every film he was bringing out, I was on it. There was a time when even The Golden Child was my favorite film. I would like. Dean said he's probably watched Raw and Delirious over 100 times. Me and him was probably together 8 of those times, watching them together. I used to watch that show to the point we would know it word for word from beginning to end. I still quote lines from it in my day-to-day conversation.
Respect.
Today. I'm coconut smash. In the sun, like
Goody goo goo.
Still to today. So yeah, he's iconic. On the list I sent to Wiley, I didn't have a fourth one, but there were so many people that I thought of that but I still couldn't finalize the fourth one. People like that are to me honorable, but they're like British. Lee Evans. Lee Mack was one I was going to say as well. I thought of Red Fox. I couldn't remember his name. The dad in House Party, Robin Harris, I think his name.
Yes, Robin Harris.
Robin Harris was another one.
Died early.
Richard Pryor obviously came to mind, but I couldn't decide on a final one, so I've got that one kind of. And another person from UK, which I highly rate, is Slim.
Funny, very funny. I'm gonna quickly go through mine. In no particular, well, the last one for me is at the top. Dave Chappelle, Charlie Murphy, not Eddie Murphy, Charlie Murphy. I think Eddie Murphy I thought was hilarious, but Charlie Murphy had his humor. I don't know what it was that I found stupidly funny. I just find it stupidly funny. His storytelling was just legendary. Richard Pryor, but for me, at the top of it all is Cat Williams. Cat Williams, you know, the thing about Cat Williams, I can't watch an interview with Cat Williams without dying. I can watch that. You know what it is for me that I always watch and I can't stop crying at is when he's roasting the woman on the radio.
Brother.
That for me, considering he wasn't even meant to be in the interview.
She's too quick. She's an idiot. She's an idiot. You don't mess with a comedian. You just don't mess with them.
For me, and I know if you're talking about modern goats, I'd say Chappelle's same level, but it's different humor. But for me, if I want to sit down and just be crying tears of laughter, Cat Williams will get me every single time.
You know,
Every
I forgot to mention
He
Eddie
said-
Griffin.
He said, "Your gnarl name."
Yes. No. And you and the way I'm sure he said something like, "Oh, you wouldn't understand what that means."
Yeah. And
He
I think
yeah.
half of it was her trying to defend it.
Yes.
Yeah, she
And he was a
just made a
comedian.
rant to him.
Just made it even
And
funnier.
he was a comedian.
No, but what happened was she said something to him.
Yes.
It's about his
He looked
hair.
at her, and then the switch just went on.
Yeah.
And then he was just like, he
She
just
tried
kept
to
going.
ramp about his hair.
Yeah.
Yes.
He just,
yes.
He
he
was
went
on
off.
18 inches, no perm, baby. I said,
Mad.
So I'm gonna jump onto something a bit light-hearted, which I think we can all probably resonate with.
So before you do that, what do you think of Eddie Griffin?
Eddie Griffin, I think, was funny for a period. I don't think he's not my funniest stand-up.
No.
It's commercially funny.
TV shows, yes, stand-up. I didn't find him that funny.
One more, I don't know if you know who his guy is. Is it Arnes? His name is.
Honest,
Oh yeah.
Funny.
But he got roasted the other day for the English thing.
he's the
What
one
about
that
him?
does the one with by his brother, right?
wait, you're
Yeah.
talking about two different people. So one is the guy who talks about his brother. His brother's disabled.
Yeah.
Him.
All right. So this
Oh.
guy,
Yeah.
he's on. What was,
He's YouTube famous.
what was the Def Comedy Jam?
Okay.
He has a whole
skit?
I think he's on something like 6, 7, and 8, or 7, 8, and 9 on his own. This guy is
I
hilarious.
can't remember his name though, but him. Oh
Yeah.
my lord.
We'll have to find his name. Whilst
Yes.
you're doing the next bit, I'll find
Yes. Cartoons.
Not
I'm
anime.
jumping at.
I know this is gonna be a controversial.
You know what?
controversial.
I was gonna go to Sirelli first, but you see, when you said it's controversial,
It's
I'm
gonna
gonna
be
come
controversial,
straight to you.
topic, I think.
Someone's gonna say Dungeons and Dragons. That was rubbish.
And then you're gonna get booed.
And Ray's gonna get mad.
I don't mind that.
I actually don't mind Dungeons and Dragons. I know where you go.
Cartoons.
Go.
Tongo.
All right, so this is gonna be controversial anyway. All right, so Defenders of the Earth. Yeah, for me, that was just the baddest cartoon for that era at that time. Although there was Thundercats, although there was
Don't do that. Just do
Yeah,
your
yeah.
no,
do.
no,
Don't worry
yeah,
about
yeah.
it.
I'm not saying- I'm not saying-
My thing is great. Yours is shit.
Very
Right.
popular cartoon.
No, just your thing, bro.
So
Just
I'll
your
give you an
thing.
example. Yeah. This is one of the controversial ones. Tom and Jerry.
Not controversial, bro.
Carry
Carry on.
Tom and Jerry to me is too classic. Too classic. For me, 80 Days Around the World. Some of you don't even know what that is.
Mhm.
It's
Yes,
Willy Fogg.
I remember.
Yeah.
Yes.
that-
Phileas Fogg. Phileas
Willy-
Fogg.
No, it was called Willy Fogg.
With the Willy Fogg.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's based on Phileas Fogg, don't it?
Phileas
Yeah.
Fogg is-
Yeah.
There's superpowers in there, man.
But leave him alone, man.
No, we're allowed to interject.
I think it's controversial,
Go.
but
I want him to done.
This is his character, bro. Leave him alone.
I want him to
And
done.
then-
Harry, go.
Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That was mad. When they
That
did the
was a mad-
multiverse one, when Madden Web came
Right,
out.
so yeah.
that was
Okay.
mad. Yeah, I'll give you that.
Okay. So that's your four, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
Really?
Right, straight to me.
Straight to you because it was meant to
Ah.
be UX. But
Man,
because
let's say
Tongo-
controversial.
That's right. Go
Yeah,
on.
let me come with controversial.
Go on.
First one, Ben 10.
Ooh, Ben 10. How old are you?
Like I said,
My, you know what though?
What's Ben 10, bruv?
No.
Brother,
Hold on one second. One second. Hold on. One second.
I was busy, bro.
let's go. Right.
Turning it down in the outside. You know, it's so small.
You know what the funny thing is? All of you are saying that, but all of you don't know it.
What?
I didn't watch
No, I
it.
didn't watch it.
I had to watch it with my stepson when he was a kid.
All
So,
right.
yeah.
All right.
I don't know how old you was, so freaking know.
All right. My next one. It's not
Peppa Pig.
technically a cartoon, it's more of an anime, but Dragon Ball Z.
Okay. Go on.
Airbender.
Who's that?
The last Airbender.
Last Airbender.
Didn't even call the name properly. Freaking hell.
But we know who it was though.
Was that a cartoon series?
But we no. To be fair,
Came out when he was 40.
the question wasn't serious; it was cartoon. So that it wasn't serious. Let him come
That was
with
on
his
Netflix.
Let him come with his
It
list.
was on Netflix.
No,
Leave him
sorry,
alone.
let him come with his list.
Let Tongo, he has
So
to
you can't
nitpick it.
count.
Yeah, okay.
Let
Come on, let him do his thing, bro.
Let him come with his list. Continue.
Last
The last
Is
Airbender.
it called Avatar? The last Airbender.
Yeah.
Avatar,
You're
the
right.
last
You're right.
Go on.
It's called
It's Avatar.
It's my favorite, but I don't know what it's called.
Irrespective.
Right,
Go on.
Leave him alone.
Yes.
He doesn't
You're
watch
not
cartoons.
finished.
Go.
Yes.
You know.
You watch mature things. Don't worry.
And Samurai Jack.
Okay.
Is that it? I think you got one more.
That's it for.
He
Can't
said
you
he's
count?
four.
I didn't.
He said he's four.
Can't you count?
Well,
He
Ben
said he's
10.
four.
Alright,
I'll
next.
go
He said he's
I'll
four.
go next. I'll go next.
No,
Okay, go on, Citrus.
no.
No.
Wiley, you
Oh.
select.
Oh, me? You want me to go next?
No, you
You
decide.
Okay,
you go
next was gonna be Buddy.
Dragon Ball Z.
Yep.
Rago, putting it in there. Thundercats, again, putting it in there. Do you know what? It's changed a little bit. I'm actually gonna turn and put Family Guy in there because it's a cartoon that I still watch today.
Okay.
So I kind of thought to myself, how can I just air it? And then the other one, I just had it. I forgot it. What's it? X-Men. I battered the X-Men, and then the new series that came out. Yeah, you're still like young too.
He used to batter when X-Men was on. Yeah, we get him.
Yeah, and then the new one that came out the other day, that was also great to watch. So
Did you batter that one too?
yeah, safe.
Okay.
Listen, I'm not watching Ben 10, so I'm all right, bro.
Citrus.
So similar to what's already been mentioned, Dragon Ball Z. Even though I was already in my late teens, early 20s watching it. Thundercats, because I was Panthro.
That was the black one.
He was the black one. Isn't
Yeah,
he?
brother, come on.
That was me. I couldn't be Chitara.
You can't be the girl.
Can't be the girl. So I didn't want to be Lionel because Anyway, so I said Dragon Ball Z, Thundercats. I then went with He-Man, Masters of the Universe. The reason why I had He-Man
Toy
pajamas,
Oh, yeah.
and I wore it from when it was too big till when the trousers used to come up past your knees, and
High
I tried to
tension,
throw it in the bin.
yeah.
Nope, that can't go. You know when we used to have the transfers?
Mm.
They used to put transfers on the pajamas. That
Yes.
thing faded out.
Faded off.
I didn't care.
It was
I
all
didn't care.
cracked. It was all cracked.
Cracked. I still wore it. I didn't want to wash it. You know them kind of dirty. That was me, bro. He-Man. I don't care. And the last one, which is it's an offshoot, not Sirelli offshoot, but an offshoot. I put Tailspin / Chippendale.
DuckTales.
No.
You said Tailspin.
Rod, you look not no
As
cartoon.
I said, for the young man in there, just Google it.
No, blood.
So Tailspin / Chippendale. Google it. You'll know exactly why it's in that order.
Okay.
Thank you,
Full
Tom.
tail.
Okay.
DuckTales is something completely different, but yeah.
Rayman.
DuckTales from Chippendale, you know.
But
They're the same animal.
Buddy Screech.
Rayman.
Ulysses 31.
Go on.
Bad boy program.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Nothing will forget about it.
Yeah.
Boondocks. Boondocks is
Adult cartoon, isn't it?
it's an adult cartoon. It didn't have as many series as Family Guy or Simpsons, but if it did, it would be equal to or better than them. I just think the stuff in there,
And that's why I didn't say it, because it didn't have that.
You was watching
long-
Ben 10. We're not even
No,
talking
no.
about you, bro.
I'll ask you.
You showed the wrong B, blood.
and then anyone remember Samurai Pizza Cats?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
They want to call when you.
But I wouldn't.
have
It
some
wouldn't.
pepperoni.
It wouldn't. Yeah, it wouldn't make my top though.
yeah, it would, man. What it was is that I went out of my way to down. So there was two things that I never watched the whole thing of. Samurai Pizza Cats and Ulysses 31. I only
Never finished it.
probably about, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago.
Ulysses was felt like it was too long
Yeah,
when we were younger. You know what I mean?
it did, but it was complex and
Yeah.
certain sitting was going on. But I downloaded it and watched the whole thing. But anyway, Samurai Pizza Cats, and then Centurions.
I knew someone
Oh,
was
oh,
listening to it.
I thought of that, but I didn't want
Yeah.
to.
Honorary mention to Visionaries.
Visionaries, definitely.
Say no more.
Yes. My four, very quickly. Simpsons.
Bro.
Yep.
Boring.
Simpsons.
March that.
Yeah, I'm boring. Dungeons and Dragons. For me,
Someone's gonna say
I don't believe this. Dungeons and Dragons. I still don't know if they got through to the end.
So
The
you-
animated Batman.
Which one? No, there
The
was
one,
Sorry,
the one
that stuff
from
was mad.
the
skinny
I think
one.
I think it was from the 90s. The
Wait,
90s.
was he slim?
He's enough slim, young as
Was
well.
it pencil
You're
or
talking
No,
about
no, no.
the
He's
cave, innit?
quite stocky. Yeah, quite stocky. He was stocky in the cartoon.
Shake like a triangle.
Yes.
Shake like Oscars. Shake like Oscar.
I can't even think, but
Oh,
I know
he
that
kept that
it
big
was the
one.
one that was the
That
big
dead
one in the 90s when I was growing up.
Wasn't on the Disney
And
Channel,
last but not least, Sport Billy.
Man, like
Sport
Billy,
Billy. That bag that he had, that he could just pull out something and it just become a whatever. That for me, I don't. As a child, growing up watching that,
Do you remember
man.
Cities of Gold?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't
Remember Brave Star?
Yeah,
Brave Star.
Yeah,
man.
cool.
Yeah,
Brave Star. Yeah.
yeah.
Anyone where they had powers, I was
Wow.
on it.
Yeah.
Galaxy
Even,
Rangers. No one mentioned Galaxy Rangers,
Galaxy
bro.
Galaxy Rangers was-
Freaking hell.
but not Captain Planet.
Water. With
Yeah, Captain Planet.
That's what
Right. Oh, that was my really. Rangers, put it out of your head. Shut up.
Not Captain Planet wins.
So,
No defenders of the earth. On that one.
no
That's what I'm
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I put it on my list.
No Scooby-Doo.
Well,
No, Scooby-Doo
Well-
was never making it.
well, that was the 4 in it. Very quickly, because we're time and everything. So, male, yeah, man, male singers, and I'm gonna start with Citrus.
Very quickly, Prince, Michael Jackson,
Mhm.
Luther Vandross, Teddy Pendergrass.
Ooh,
Heavy.
That was a decent
Ooh.
list. I know it was decent. This is my list.
Wow.
Really?
Sam Cooke, Michael Jackson, Bob Marley, and Bruno Mars.
Ooh, Bruno makes that. Wow. Okay.
You put Bobby in there.
Okay,
Hold on. I might actually change mine. I had one space left.
buddy.
Follow up.
Little thing,
Buddy.
My one was, I'm trying to remember it. I haven't looked at my phone and like all these
Whatever
guys.
Sirelli said.
No. MJ. I controversially put R. Kelly in there because I said to myself, as anyone would say, the king of R&B during our time of growing up, it's got to be R. Kelly. Music was mad. I said One Year from Boyz II Men. And then I had a little space left, and I listen more to Bob Marley than I would to Luther, for example, who's another good singer, but I'll go with Bobby.
Tongo.
Michael Jackson, Usher, R. Kelly, Bob Marley. Honorable mentions: Barry Simon,
Ross.
Luther Vandross, Marvin Gaye.
Everybody else.
Yeah, honorable. Raymond.
Marvin Gaye, definitely.
I like Marvin.
Garnet Silk. Michael Jackson. I didn't really have a third. Fourth, sorry. I didn't have a fourth. And I can't think of one ultimately now. But yeah, for me, Garnet Silk was just ahead of his time, man. And the voice was just different. It wasn't like Motown. Like
I thought of him, but
a lot of people that have been mentioned are like Motown, traditional kind of like hit notes, and were like, he wasn't that, but yeah, him.
I would have Michael Jackson, obviously. I would have
Michael Bublé.
Listen, Michael Bolton, Michael Jackson. So definitely have to have on there. It's controversial, but I'm with Buddy. I've got to go with R. Kelly. R. Kelly's consistency of music, and I'm not. I won't play it, but I can't not put him in there.
But you put him on Mount Rushmore.
I
Oh,
have
no,
to.
you
On
got
the
it.
big thing.
But you know why?
You know
rhythms.
Do you know why?
Musically,
I'm not playing.
Don't listen to this.
Do you know why?
Even Jay's
Do you know why? Do you know why? Because to turn around and say his influence on music was not that big would be lying to myself. It'd be like me saying if Diddy was found guilty for all these things, no more Bad Boy. I can't lie like that. That's just lying to myself. So I'd have them two. I'd have Luther Vandross for me, timeless voice. And I think the last person I'd have on there would probably be Prince. And that's more to do with his music. No, not at all.
that's why you had to
That's
send
more-
him your homework. Come on.
Man didn't do his own homework. Pick from there.
So very quickly, we done the male. Now we're gonna go to the female singers.
Bloody hell.
Yes,
Must
female
be my
singers.
phone.
I'm gonna do one more after this one because we're right on it. But I'm gonna do one more after this one.
No,
So-
man.
No.
It's two.
There's
It's one.
two?
I got a suggestion for.
Alright.
Okay, go on. We'll come to your suggestion afterwards then. So the next one now, female singers.
You first.
Tongo.
Whitney Houston, a
Mm-mm.
very obvious one. I think not so obvious, not so popular opinion. Jennifer Hudson, is that her name?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is that her name? She's your Mount
Yeah,
Rushmore.
Yeah. Come.
Look, I
Don't-
Let's continue.
Anybody-
Just
Sorry,
go
sorry,
on.
sorry. Alicia Keys. I could have got a definitive fourth, but Diana Ross mentioned. Celine Dion was another.
Bro, stop.
Okay,
Badass.
No, you know what?
No.
You know what?
I'm saying these are things that I was thinking of a fourth, but I didn't actually put a fourth.
For the sake of time, if you ain't got four, you got to have four.
Three.
You got to have four.
Jay, so when he starts with the honorable thing, just lock him off, yeah?
Stop hating.
Buddy, who's your four?
This this is based off of voice. Beyonce, Whitney, Mariah Carey. I didn't get the fourth one.
The fourth one. Okay. Raymond.
Nina Simone.
Mm.
Peggy Lee.
Mm.
I would say no, Alicia Keys. Why are you laughing for? Alicia Keys, because I like the raspiness in her voice. And it's just a popular one, isn't it? Whitney Houston.
Okay.
Insane.
You know, that's embarrassing because you're a yard man. Selena should have been way at the top there.
Nah, allow it.
Yeah, man. I don't really, no. Allow Selena, man. Not over Nina Simone anyway. Like Nina Simone is top echelon, man.
Citrus.
Okay, so my 4 is Whitney Houston, Lauryn Hill, Coco from SWV.
Yes, big singer.
Yeah.
Big singer.
Just need to listen to a cappella album.
Listen to it. Yeah, her solo album is brilliant.
Off the hook. And Alison Hines from
Square One.
Go on. I'm with you on that one. Go on.
He's on walk up.
If you go on my Spotify,
Really just.
Right.
That's right. You see, and then I had to look through my thing to say, who do I actually listen to?
Yeah.
So there you go.
Big up with that last one. That's quite good.
Sirelli.
So I went with Celine. I went with Whitney, Aretha Franklin, and Nina Simone. Those last 2 paved the way for a lot of people.
Yeah, Aretha Franklin, definitely.
So I've gone for Millie Jackson.
Ooh.
My dad used to play that all the time.
My mum too.
So I have Millie Jackson got played all the time. That's ingrained in my head. I went with Celine Dion. I think I watched something where she was doing a sing-off with Beyonce, and Beyonce tried to challenge her.
She can sing,
And
bro.
yeah, it didn't work out in
She
her
can
favor.
sing, bro.
Mariah Carey, but the voice has to be number 1, and that is Whitney. Whitney was, when you think about what Whitney was going through, and she could still rock up to a microphone and do what she was doing, even when she weren't even performing on a concert. I think there's a video somewhere. She's at an award something. She's looking a bit of a mess, and she just turns it on.
Yeah,
that's a God-given talent.
Are you talking about coked up Whitney? Or are you talking about?
It doesn't matter,
bro.
There was a stage.
Whatever her addictions were.
There was a stage when she towards the end of her life.
Yeah.
All right. Where she went on stage, there was a couple videos where and she couldn't. It went. The talent had left her.
Okay.
At that point.
So you're gonna take these 2 performances versus a
25 lifetime.
I never said she couldn't.
And this is the thing.
She was in my mouth.
I would say I'd agree with you. There may have been those 2. I've seen other videos in that same period where she was under the influence and she's flawless.
Let's
move on.
Yeah.
Fight, I'm gonna hand it over to Citrus because Citrus was itching.
Because films,
with one.
You can't put the films in a thing and not talk about the films. So films, I'm gonna start with Wiley.
Oh wow,
good film.
I'm gonna go with Shawshank Redemption.
Wiley's just reading off everyone else's.
No, not at all.
But all right,
not at all.
Shawshank's a good one.
I'm trying to think of other films, you know.
So you didn't do your homework?
No, to be honest with you, I weren't planning to answer them.
So you didn't
If
do
I'm
any
honest with
Hollywood films or nothing like that?
No, I weren't planning to answer them at all. I weren't planning to answer them.
No.
What about your uncle's film?
My uncle's film.
Yeah.
Cousin.
World.
Yeah, bro.
Which film?
Anyone.
Sirelli film.
Come on, man.
Time is off the.
You know what?
That's
Let's
I don't know.
move on.
Move on.
Okay.
Get your really, please.
So I've got
Honorable mentions.
The Godfather, Pursuit of Happiness, The Matrix, and Toy Story.
This guy's on RnB, buddy.
Bruv. I did Menace to Society. I did Goodfellas. I actually put Bad Boys because I know all the words to it, and I sat there one time and watched all the words. I just read out all the words. And I didn't have a last one, to be fair, so I'm not
worries.
doing another one.
House Party, the original one from 1990. Limitless.
Yes.
Brilliant film.
Terminator 2.
Groundbreaking.
The Matrix.
Nice. Rayman.
I've all linked.
Matrix 2 Reloaded.
That was a good one.
That was the best
The
one.
best one, yeah.
The architect scene at the end. Obviously, everything I built
Man.
up to it, but that scene where he was coming with the words. You know, when I watched that scene, I got a dictionary and knew what all those words were, and then used them while I was chatting to people, just to make sure like I was on it. Inception.
I like Inception. Don't know the end still.
Huh?
Don't know the end still. The end still.
Come.
Yeah.
Awake, not awake.
True.
One time.
Inception. The Day After Trinity, which you probably won't know about, was about a nuclear explosion. But anyway, that was good, and I didn't have a fourth. But those are the films I've actually got on DVD, and if I had a DVD player, I'd watch it today.
I've got two more. Casino and Heat.
Good shout. For mine, similar to yours, to be fair. Shawshank Redemption, Trading Playlist. Sorry, Trading
Places.
Playlist.
No,
You matched him up, bro. What's wrong with you?
Trading Playlists. So,
For those who watch it, it's Trading Places. Just so you know.
But two others from my childhood. One is The Lion King. So I watched that however many times. Like I used to watch it putting my sisters to sleep because it was the only thing that used to calm her down. And accidentally, similar to Buddy, I just learned all the words, all of the songs, everything. Right now, you can start it at any port,
You start
any
singing
part.
the
I'll
words.
just carry on.
Bro, he's done. It's up to spend time, bro.
Wait, go on.
Lastly is Little Shop of Horrors.
That was good.
I just want to add my fourth, Flight of the Navigator.
Yes.
Yes.
Big film.
When
Yeah.
the ship turned
Big film.
backwards and you had to go back through
And
time.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But don't know what you're talking about.
Yes.
I've seen it. What's it about? About alien things.
No, I knew as soon as I saw his face. But,
Nah, I remember the. I think I actually remember the front cover for it. I never
I
wanted to
remember
watch
that, but I remember also
the TV program.
The Last Starfighter. That come out about the same time, and I ended up watching. I used to always, I don't know why, confuse the two films.
No.
Strangely enough,
I don't know if it came out in the UK.
I The Last Starfighter.
Yeah.
You didn't? Wow.
Like,
Wow.
When I ending story.
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
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 Crystal Maze.
Yes. Yes.
That's.
You mean Labyrinth?
No.
Labyrinth.
Labyrinth.
Watching the game show.
Oh God.
Bro.
I watch it every day. You should know what he meant though.
But he knew what he meant though. Last one. Very, very last one.
Yeah.
And I will.
No, he's gonna do what he wants.
Team program.
Yes. I'm gonna throw in a wild card very quickly. The wild card is gonna be boxers. Very easy.
No, man.
Yeah, I can't get involved in that.
Now do TV programs, man.
Okay, TV programs.
Why
Go
do
for it.
TV program?
Very
Never
quickly.
can answer.
Very quickly. Starting off with Tongo, since he called
I
for it.
didn't do TV programs.
Automan. Some of you won't remember what that is.
I don't.
It's about a man that could turn into any vehicle he wanted to
Yep.
at any given time. And the car, when he turned the car, it used to turn at right angles. It was just mad. It was mad. And also just knows that program.
Yep.
MacGyver,
Yep.
Mad.
That's a good shout.
The Real McCoy,
Yep.
and Knight Rider.
Wow. Citrus.
Proper
Mine
80s.
is Knight Rider, the A-Team,
Street Hawk.
Quantum Leap,
Yeah.
I want some Liverpool.
and the Krypton Factor. Just
Rayman?
because I want to be on it.
Quantum Leap was on mine.
40 Towers.
No. Quantum Leap. Airwolf.
Yeah.
Airwolf was a bad boy thing.
Manimal.
No, see, Manimal and Otto, I didn't watch them. Maybe I just kept missing them. I don't know. I can't think of any others, you know. I can't think of any. I didn't actually.
All of TV, bro.
Yeah. You know, but you know what it is? It's TV shows that are Mount Rushmore. There was a lot of stuff that I watched, but stuff that I'm like Quantum Leap, like that was, you know, when it went a bit haywire at the end, where
boy.
when haywire, when they was jumping backwards and forwards in time,
Yeah.
and then Ziggy, my man, came out with the Ziggy.
Did you watch the new thing?
Yeah.
They know they have a new version. It was all right.
It's not-
Caught my
it's not a
attention
thing.
for a bit.
There are others I just can't think at the moment. But yes, I'll move on. I'll just throw some out there.
Obviously, Knight Rider, A-Team, Manimal. But the program that I used to always look forward to watching the most, because I wanted to be on it the most, was Nightmare.
Nightmare.
Nightmare was
Bad
the program.
man.
I would come home, running home
Yeah,
to watch that program.
true.
That program was the
You know what they
BB.
say?
Falsehood.
When they
Yes.
had to get away from the gremlin
Yeah.
or the goblin,
Oh.
and then they fall in the hole.
Yes.
Left. No,
Yes.
the other left.
Yeah.
And then,
I used to love that. That was my
could you
program.
imagine being on with Tongo?
Man,
Tongo
like
would
trade
stay-
guards.
Would talk so much. Yo, so in front of you, bruv, where's the bread? The face used to fall apart.
Yeah.
So you was
Yes.
near the end of your thing.
Yeah.
You had
Yes.
to get the bread to just
Yeah.
put your life back up.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, mate. Nightmare.
Yes, but
Nightmare
yeah.
was mine.
Good shot.
Thrilling.
Okay. Knight Rider. Tomorrow's World. When I was a kid, that thing was.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And David Attenborough. I loved his program. Even now, I still watch it now. And I didn't have a third.
Okay.
Four, sorry.
No worries.
Buddy.
Night Rider, definitely. I used to wake up 6 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday morning to sit there and watch
Were you in
that.
Pakistan, bro.
Brother, I was about to say.
Nah, bruv. He used to come up early on Saturday
No,
morning.
bruv.
Early,
No,
No,
early
bro.
time. Early on
Our
Saturday
time
morning.
it may not have been, but
Pakistan.
maybe later on it would have been.
Oh,
reruns.
Okay.
Oh,
Reruns.
so he's watching it on live TV or something.
I don't
like
know. I know I used to wake up.
Watch it on days.
No, I
Dave,
used to
yeah,
wake
yeah,
up
yeah.
on a Saturday morning, wake up first thing in the morning, and I used to get up and watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
Yeah.
I was under 7, probably between anything between
I
5 and
promise
7.
you, it wasn't on.
Never.
at that time.
Never.
7 o'clock. It was early in the morning because I woke up
It was
early in the
early
morning to go and watch it.
It was
Go
at
on.
5:30. Them time.
In the
Yeah.
evening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I watched it in the morning, bruv.
Never.
No.
Right.
Maybe
I'm
it's
gonna
a
Google
I'm a
rerun.
Google, yeah, Google it.
Go on.
Google it. Saturday in the morning. Yeah, Google it. Google
You know,
it.
Knight Rider.
Go on.
It was a different type of Knight
Quantum
Rider.
Leap.
Go on, go on,
Quantum
go on,
Leap
go on.
is legendary. I then said to myself, let me try and go a little bit modern. Breaking Bad will definitely be on my Mount Rushmore. It's a
Never
really
going
good,
that way. Okay.
yeah, it's a really good series to watch.
And Heroes.
But you know what? I didn't actually put Heroes on it, but as soon as you said it, I'm like, I didn't know. I was like, Heroes
It's
could
only
be.
season 1 though.
Yeah.
Season 2.
I'm back.
Season 2 was
There's programs I've watched. I've gone back and watched the whole series again, and Heroes was good.
You might as well say Lost.
Nah, I didn't watch Lost like that.
Right. Just to dead the argument.
Desmond's.
Just to dead the argument. Knight Rider typically aired on Sunday evenings, often starting around 6 p.m. on
6 o'clock.
ITV.
Yeah, bro. I don't know what you were watching.
I'm gonna check it.
But that's what I'm thinking. It might have been reruns. Reruns.
Because
But
you
anyway,
get your newspaper
Day-
and see what time is coming on and make
And
sure.
Day Rider.
you could read
Yeah,
the
yeah,
little
yeah.
synopsis of
Yeah,
what-
yeah.
or
Day
the
Rider.
times.
so we ain't even gone through the whole
do that.
list, you know.
We're too late now.
We ain't gone through
Yeah.
the whole list, but we will have to touch on this another time.
Apology accepted.
Yes, indeed. But don't forget to catch us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you follow, like, and subscribe. Please make sure you do that. Need to get the movement up, you know?
Mm.
The movement needs to come up. But this has been the eMpTy Podcast. Thank you. This has been the eMpTy Podcast, and if the glass ain't half full,
It's
empty.
it's empty.
Right, come on, quickly. Box up. Buddy.
Yeah.